Getting nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2 o'clock on the dot.
How about
BK and Ferrario. Nice job.
Starting on time today,
Starting on
boys.
time. I got to give it to our guy BK. He took that one to heart yesterday. He didn't realize how long the break was before our show. We started about 2:07.
217, I think, is what it was.
Unacceptable. He knows that, and he bounced back today.
He's fine. They had, you know what? They had a couple of kick-ass interviews yesterday, and when those things happen, things run long. So
We get it. We totally get it.
It is, but that doesn't keep. Rule number one:
Nobody's safe.
nobody's safe.
That's right.
That's it.
All right, so the Cardinals opened things up against the Brewers tonight, and I thought we got a pretty interesting text message yesterday. I don't know if we were doing hot take or hot garbage or maybe a sports six-pack, but somebody had asked, is this series significant given that this is your first crack at the NL Central? The Brewers are off to a really good start. They're 11-6. They've won 6 out of their last 10 games. They're 7-2 on the road, so that hasn't phased them. You're going to face their best, too. Freddie Peralta takes the hill tonight against Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson with that outstanding start to open things up, his Cardinals regular season debut against San Diego, and then he's got a couple of duds. So Kyle Gibson tonight versus Freddie Peralta. But do you guys look at this series as a significant one, despite the fact that it's only April 19th?
I do, and I was thinking about that earlier in the office today as I'm watching the matchups and looking at the pitching matchups and things like that. I was like, you know what? This is kind of a test for the Cardinals. Right now, the Brewers are at the top of the food chain in the NL Central, which to complement the division, it's been a much better division than any of us anticipated it to be.
No doubt.
But they're the top dog right now. And you're facing one of their best pitchers, if not their best pitcher, in Freddie Peralta, certainly up there. Mm-hmm. This is a big challenge. I think this is a very good measuring stick for the Cardinals.
I agree. I mean, it's the first opportunity for a division matchup. You obviously need to win your divisions, and you don't get as many games as you have in the past. So anytime you're facing a division foe, you have to take care of your business, especially at home. I mean, this Cardinals team, we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. Which team is going to show up? Is it going to be the pitching, which has been good? Is the offense going to show up? Hopefully they can bring all of it together, especially during this series. They have to win this series, and hopefully, preferably, they would at some point win the last game of a series. Let's go for a sweep. Why not?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
You want to win all three?
Yes.
That's a lot to
Please.
expect.
Nah, I don't.
I'm just saying.
Is it a lot?
Yeah. Have you not seen this team?
What?
Shouldn't be.
That's the expectation.
I thought you just wanted the last game of the series.
Well, then they would have lost the other two, and then they lose the series.
I think you have to pick your poison with this team.
Then give me 2 out of 3, and you can lose the last one again. How about that?
I'd like to see competitive at-bats tonight. Freddie Peralta, 2-0 with 26 strikeouts so far, but the Cardinals have done pretty well against him. He's 1-6 with a 6.16 ERA and 11 starts versus the Cardinals. So if tonight they can have competitive at-bats and they can get to Freddie Peralta, I think they can set the tone for this series.
It'd be nice. And Kyle Gibson's going to have a nice start, too. So Christian Yelich was placed on the 10-day injured list. It's retroactive to April 13th. He's got a lower back strain, so he will not be in the lineup tonight for the Brewers or throughout the weekend. Let me read you the lineup right now for the Brewers, and then I'll get to a point here. So this isn't the lineup for tonight. This was the last game they played against San Diego, which was, I believe, two days ago. They had a getaway game against San Diego, or I think it was a rubber match. Sal Frelick, William Contreras, Jake Bowers, Willie Adames, Oliver Dunn, Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Terang, Jackson Chourio, who's the young kid, and Blake Perkins. That's the Brewers lineup. They tend to do this. They tend to do this where they mix and match. They piece things together.
Feel like it was a bad lineup and give us some hope.
I thought that was a AAA team.
Right? There's no Christian Yelich. This is going to be similar to what you're going to see over the weekend. I know Rhys Hoskins has been a name, but he was hurt all of last year. They signed him to a 1-year deal. William Contreras has come into his own since they acquired him from the Braves. Willie Adames has been really good. Jackson Chourio, again, young guy, we'll see. But the Brewers do this where they continue to make do with the pieces that they have. They're not a team that goes out and makes splash trades. Certainly not. They don't make big time signings. The last one they did was Christian Yelich. And then since that point, we've seen them get rid of guys like Josh Hader and Corbin Burns. They can't pay everybody. They're a small market team.
They can't even hang on to their manager.
They can't even hang on to their manager. They don't want to pay him. They let him go to the Cubs. This, I think, is maybe not this series specifically, but this is yet another litmus test against a team that continues to find gems that, at the very least, have worked throughout the regular season. The Cardinals have tried to do this while sprinkling in some of the bigger names like Arenado and Goldschmidt. But the Brewers have schooled you not only on the field, but they've done so in their front office, too. And this is yet another example, again, without Christian Yelich, where the Brewers have vastly outproved, outgained, outproduced their lineup. At least what it looks like on paper.
Bottom line is the Cardinals have to take care of their business. I mean, you can't, whoever's in the lineup, who's out in terms of the opposing team, you have to figure out how you're going to produce runs. You have to have consistency at the plate and find a way to score and win games. And hopefully, Kyle Gibson, we get the first game, Kyle Gibson, the version of him that was it the first or the second game?
It was the
first game.
First game, where he went out and shoved. The second game wasn't great. First inning was a little rough. Now, he did get you 7 innings. It was a good finish, not a great start. So you got to get the good version of Kyle Gibson tonight. And hopefully, again, this team is going to go as their 2 stars go. If Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt hit, which they do have really good averages and good OPSs versus Freddie Peralta. They are hitting him very well. So maybe this is the thing that jumpstarts them, which jumpstarts this offense.
Yeah, the offense needs to get going. Kyle Gibson, I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to be just fine. I know his last couple of starts been bumpy or whatever, but it's the offense has to get going. You can't put that kind of pressure on any of your pitchers to keep it to 3 runs or less every single game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just going to happen that there's a couple of blow-ups, and you got to put the pressure on the other team. This offense has not put the pressure on any other team throughout the entire length of a series.
No.
They've had some moments, but at no point has any team sat there and said, woof, like we're in one here. Like, we can't send anybody to the bump because these guys are just tearing it apart right now.
Yeah.
No, not at all. In fact, teams are like, yeah, just pitch.
You'll be okay.
Make them put it in play.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting any long ball. They're leaving guys on base. The offense has to step up. We can say whatever the heck we want about the pitching. The pitching has been fine. It's been adequate. Mm-hmm. Your offense has not been. If your offense had been bopping at all so far this season, you'd probably be 3 games above 500, maybe even more.
We live in a world now where it's hit a home run or strike out. Like, that's the philosophy of baseball, unfortunately.
Pretty much.
The Cardinals are second to last in Major League Baseball in home runs hit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, behind the Chicago White Sox. White Sox have 10.
White Sox aren't even trying, Anthony.
They played
No.
18 games.
No,
they got 10
like
home runs. The Cardinals have played 19 games, got 13.
Wow.
So I don't know what your lineup is going to be. Maybe you need to shift to playing some small ball if you're not going to hit the ball over the fence. Because right now they're not doing that at a high rate.
Right.
Not having a lot of success at the plate. And so you got to figure out a way to produce runs because although your pitching staff is doing really well, they're doing okay. They're doing really well. At some point you're going to run into a situation where it's going to be a 4-run game, and you got to figure out how to get into this game. You're going to allow 4 or 5 runs, and you got to figure out a way to score. And I think the Cardinals are averaging around 3.1 runs per game, something like that, which is not great either.
No, whether you look at standard numbers or you look at advanced metrics, it's not pretty right now for this Cardinals offense. You guys are right. They're WRC plus against right-handers, so they'll see Freddie Peralta and then they'll see Colin Ray in this series. Ray's a right-hander, so is Freddie Peralta. Marsh noted it. Yeah, they've had some success against Freddie Peralta, but against right-handed hitters, they get a WRC plus of 88. League average is 100. Again, that's league average, 100. So they're 12 percentage points below that against right-handers. Against a lefty, and they will face one lefty in this series, they got a WRC plus of 79. That's 25th in baseball.
They used to absolutely mash left-handed pitching.
Not anymore.
And that's 3.6 runs, not 3.1. So
3.6, okay.
A little higher.
You're way off.
Carey, to your point, though, you would put up with some of the swing and miss if you were driving the ball out of the yard.
It'd be nice.
You're not. So where does the baseball IQ come in where you say, okay, here's our approach to this pitcher today. Maybe we need to go to the right side. Maybe we need to lay one down. Maybe once we do get somebody on base, we get the runners moving a little bit. I don't think you should ever have just one thing offensively. I don't think it should be home runs or nothing. I don't think it should be small ball or nothing. It is one weapon one tool within your toolbox. And unfortunately for the Cardinals and us watching it as fans, they're not using anything at this point offensively.
Well, at the end of the day, small ball, sure, it can manufacture a run here and there. Like, it's usually like a one-off. Like, you're down by a run, or you want to get that insurance run, you're playing that small ball game a little bit. But the other function of small ball is to get guys on the bases.
Right.
To then empty the bases with some of your big boppers.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you have a leadoff guy like Brendan Donovan. Why? Because he gets on base. Why do you want him on base? Because Goldie should be able to smash him around the bags, or Arenado coming up somewhere in that inning to cash those runs in. But that's not happening right now. It's not happening anywhere in their lineup. So you do all the small ball you want, and if you don't have the guys that can put it out of the park, you end up with runners left on base, which is exactly what we're seeing.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, Fastline on 101 ESPN. So the Cardinals and the Brewers will begin their series tonight at Busch Stadium, starting at 7:15. 7:15. Freddie Peralta, Kyle Gibson. We'll play the lineup game. We'll have the home run derby. We've got Fade or Follow, Bet the Board. We got all that coming up in a little bit. But switching gears to the Blues here. Are the Blues choosing to stay the course, or are they forced to because of their roster limitations? We'll have that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
Are you in the market right now to sell your home? Well, Gloria Liu should be your first phone call. She is the best in the business, and all you have to do is trust the experts. Gloria knows what time of year it is. She knows what the time is to put your house on the market, when to show it, all these things. You have to trust my friend Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She also has the buyers, which makes it a lot easier. She has a database with thousands of buyers that can access your listing. It drives more offers, maybe multiple offers, and hopefully more money in your pocket. She also has a great option, one that I absolutely love. It's called Guaranteed Sales. That's where Gloria will sell your home at the agreed upon price, or she will buy it herself, and she guarantees all that in handwriting. So please call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions to apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
Gauntlet on 101 ESPN. Are the Blues choosing to stay the course, or are they forced to?
What?
Let's play this audio from Doug Armstrong when he talked yesterday about sticking to the plan.
I was probably too open a year ago on a time length of retooling or what it's going to take. Like the history goes, though, in 22, 23, I thought we were a good team that underperformed. But I thought 23, 24 was going to be the first year of the next wave. Because the players that if we had to perform to their maximum ability, they would have gone on a playoff run last year, and then they'd be free agents and they'd be gone. So this was year one of something that's not going to be finished after year one. And so we can look to be prudent in the free agent market. We need internal growth. We need some of our players, veteran players, to play a little bit better. Some of our younger players to grow a little bit. The coach has to get a little bit better. The manager has to get a little bit better. But we're not going to reinvent the wheel. There is a plan in place, and I'm willing to stick through that plan.
I don't know how different other GMs around hockey, baseball, football, basketball, for that matter, I don't know how differently the plan would be for them in terms of what Doug Armstrong just said. You need young guys to take the next step in development. You need the veteran players that you're already paying that are under contract to at least perform to their numbers. And like he said, at least this is my interpretation of it. When he says we're not going to reinvent the wheel, what I think he means is we're not going to go out and be able to spend big to bring in some sort of superstar to kind of jumpstart things or make some big trade. Now, if a Brady Tkachuk becomes available at some point, things change. The variable changes. Otherwise, this is not unlike other teams that are trying to get back to the postseason with the resources that they have. Do you guys see it otherwise?
I was going to ask, is that his own doing, though? If you're unable to go get one of those high-priced free agents, it's probably because of the money that has been spent, the no-trade clauses that have been handed out, all of those things that are taking place right now on this current roster where you can't or unable as easily to move people that need to be moved or that you would like to move. I think that's the situation. Now, I don't think that Blues fans want to hear that. I think a Blues fan, if you're listening and you want to hear the general manager, the new head coach, whoever it is, saying we're going to get the pieces we need to have in place. We're going to have our young players who took a step forward this year. They're going to continue to grow. Our upper echelon players that are getting paid X number of dollars are going to continue to be at that level. And we're going to go out and we're going to sign some people or maybe make a trade for somebody that is a game changer. And I think that that's what Blues fans want to hear, because I think, JV, that's what's going to be needed for this team to have, that prolonged, that sustained success.
Yeah, the problem is then Army be lying to you. And then everybody be pissed off at Army for.
So how do they get better then? How do they fix whatever this season was to make it better than next season?
One, Army keeps doing his work in the dark. Okay, and I mean that in a positive way. I think Army held himself accountable. He's like, last year I said a few things that I go back now, and Army does a good job of getting as much out there as he possibly can. And we complimented him yesterday. And just say, at least he gives us something, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes the GM or the president goes a little too far because they let you behind the curtain a little too much. So what you'd like to do and what you actually can do are two different things. So when Army talks about what he'd like to do, you have to be very careful because you may not be able to accomplish it. And I go back to last year in the offseason, the Torrey Krug no trade clause.
Right.
So if Army said, hey, we're going to make some changes, he had a big change made, a very good change. Sanheim was a hell of a defenseman for the Flyers this year. Probably would have looked good in the blue note. That was not to be, though.
Right.
So now you go from being able to make a change and now you can't really do much. And then you're like, okay, well, I couldn't really come through with that. So I don't blame Army for holding the cards a little close to his chest here. You're in this situation because of decisions that you've made along the way. That's just fact. He is the end-all, be-all when it comes to whether it's free agent signings or trades or contracts. Army is the final say. So anything that Army's upset about right now on his roster, he knows that was his call. So, but one good thing that you can get out of this is when you look at a couple of the UFAs here, let's just isolate 3. Kasperi Kapanen, $3.2 million. That's going to be off the books. Sammy Blais, $1 million off the books. That's $4.2 million. Add in Marco Scandella's $3.2. Now you're at $7.2 million just like that overnight, because those are guys you're not bringing back.
Right.
Now you add $4 or $5 million to the salary cap because it's going to go up. Let's say you're at $12 million of cap space. Now you have to get smart, though. Can you make a big trade at that point? Can you move on from a player that has a no-trade clause that is willing to accept a trade now? That would be huge. But otherwise, you do have this $12 million in cap space now, to where, if nothing else, what happened was the young guys who came up proved that they can occupy roster spots. So if you're looking at Kasperi Kapanen, I think it's easy to say that Zach Bolduc replaced him. I mean, he got the lion's share of the ice time at the end. He got power play time. He's playing Robert Thomas. Well, Zach Bolduc, I think, is like a $750,000 cap hit. I have to go back and look, but it's the rookie deal, so it's in and around that $800,000. That's a big gain right there. You've gained what, $2.2 million, or I don't know, my math is off a little bit. 3.2 to carry the one, slide the two. Yeah, you're somewhere about.
I was told there would be no math.
Probably $2.4 million to the good on that deal. Matthew Kessel, same thing, $750,000, $800,000, as opposed to $3.2 million for Scandella. So you found those replacement players for basically league minimum, and you've got them cost controlled for the next couple of years. So that's perfect. That's the best case scenario. You got a young guy or two guys that come up and take spots from guys that have contracts that probably were, hurting you a little bit. So now Army's got to get to work. He's not going to be able to make a massive deal unless somebody with a no-trade clause says, hey, Army, here's 5, 6, 7 teams I'll go to. Then Army can do something. Now he can, move and shake a little bit. The only other thing he can do, and I just don't know if he's even willing to do it, is move on from Jordan Kyrou. If Doug Armstrong would be in the mood to move on from Jordan Kyrou, again, I don't know if he'd be willing to do it. I don't know if that's the best move. But let's say he said, I'll trade you Jordan Kyrou for a third-line player and a second-round pick. That's $8.1 million that's off of your books now, salary cap-wise. Now you got to replace it. So now you got to go sign a guy that you think can give you 60 to 70 points on average, and maybe balloon to 85, 90 points based on the situation. That's going to be tough to do. This is why getting rid of Jordan Kyrou sounds great in theory, but in reality, you might have a hard time filling up that void for the amount of points he has. Well, but he doesn't play a two-way game. Okay, fine. So then would you be, as a Blues fan, would you be fine spending $6, $7 million on a guy that gets 30 or 40 points but plays a more solid 200-foot game?
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Probably not. Does that help your retool? I don't know.
Right.
Now if you could trade him for a top 2 defenseman somewhere, well then, okay, now you're cooking with grease, right? Like, okay, that works. So that's why I think that even though Army's in this spot, or the Blues are in this spot, and Army altogether, because of their own doing, I think Army has to tread carefully about what he says publicly, because he really has very few things that right now he can do, unless somebody moves or somebody's willing to waive their no-trade clause.
We'll continue this conversation throughout the course of the show today and dive into it plenty throughout the offseason as well. So Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending next?
NBA action, the play-ins, the playoffs, all of it is awesome. And our friends over at FanDuel, they're doing great things. Of course, they're giving all customers a it looks like you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets. And Carey, it's pretty easy. That's exactly what you do.
Yeah,
you get the FanDuel. You place a $5 bet, Carey, and you get $150 back in bonus bets.
Yeah, and all you have to do is you can bet on so many things. If you want to bet on over in points scored, if you want to bet on who's going to score the most three-pointers, or first basket scorer, Anthony, anything you choose, you can pick. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/fast to get started.
Yeah, then you could do your live betting if you want, or if you want to, figure out who's going to win it all. Great. You could do the NBA futures too. It's all available at FanDuel. Carey just gave you the promo code, FanDuel.com/fast. Again, FanDuel.com/fast. And then you can place any $5 bet and you're going to get $150 back in bonus bets, win or lose, all courtesy of FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus edition is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are back in action tonight, taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Kyle Gibson takes the mound, going up against Freddie Peralta. 7:15 first pitch. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have 2 NBA play-in games as the Heat take on the Bulls. Pre-game for that one starts at 5:30, so we will be off early today. Heat and Bulls, 5:30 pre-game, and then following that, the Pelicans will take on the Sacramento Kings with an 8:30 tip-off. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, this is interesting. College football is adding helmet communications for FBS games, a 2-minute timeout at the end of each half, and other changes will be approved as well. But the one thing I want to look at right here is the communication within the helmets. That was something we talked about months ago, especially with the whole Michigan sign stealing, all that stuff that was going on. I think this is huge for college football, especially for quarterbacks.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You cut down on all the signs.
I didn't miss that part. I like all those goofy signs and, the
Pretty fun.
upside down letters and craziness.
The pictures.
Yeah.
Some
of those are good.
pictures. Anyways, it makes communicating with your quarterback that much more efficient. You can just like in the NFL, they cut off after a certain period.
Yeah.
Boom, you're good to go. You don't have to have the quarterback constantly looking to the sidelines and letting the play clock tick down.
It's going to be interesting to see how that works now, because if you cut it off at a certain time where there's 12 seconds left on the play clock, 10 seconds, you're actually forcing these college quarterbacks to become quarterbacks.
That's nice.
Because in the college game, they generally wait until the defense is set, look to the sideline, and get the play. That is, it's like getting the answers to the test. You're gonna be 100% because you know what defense they're in and where the ball should be going.
Right.
I always said
now
it looks so goofy. They line up the quarterbacks like
it's
right
ridiculous.
there, and then they're like, wait, and then everybody looks over.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
like,
not,
bro. Are we playing like 12-year-old football?
It's not football that I know. That the way that I know it, it's not in its purest form, and so. You're going to be forcing these quarterbacks to have to make decisions. You might see more turnovers. You might see, a slower play from offenses to start off seasons, because it's going to be an adjustment. If I can't get the answer to the test and I have to actually do the work by knowing the coverages and knowing what I'm facing, who's blitzing, where to pick up the new mic point and all of those things, it's going to be a difficult task, I think, for these young quarterbacks to start off.
Then again, you could still do it, right? Because they're not getting rid of the.
Well, yeah,
signals.
you could, yeah. I mean,
use the
you can
signals
still use
as
the
like
signals.
Just baiting the other team the wrong way. Like you're talking to the quarterback in the ear, and then you're still doing all these signals. Then they're like, then they're stealing your signals, but they're the
They have
wrong
no
ones.
clue.
Yeah. See? Yeah.
Jamie's quarterback would be so confused.
He'd be like, wait, are we doing the signs?
Just
You're
run the
talking in
damn
my ear.
ball.
Are we doing the
Hey,
faker?
now you're talking. You
Yeah.
can play. You can coach with me any day.
No problem.
Run the damn ball.
Okay, I'd take that.
Yeah.
You and I'll coach a pro team one day together.
You guys are all over it.
Guys, it's been 24 hours since Utah has been officially announced as the new NHL team. And Pierre LeBrun was on a phone call earlier this morning with the new NHL owner, Ryan Smith, and he said that the updated total is now just over 20,000 season ticket deposits. Now, I want to do a little comparable here, because when City SC came in the fold, they received 30,000 deposits within the first 15 minutes and 50,000 after the first 24 hours. Is this a good thing for the NHL? Obviously I'm comparing here to an MLS team, but what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's awesome. I don't care how fast they went. It's just that they're going. Let's not forget that the Mullet Arena held 4,500, to which they only had 2,500 season ticket holders. Within the first 5 hours, they had 11,000 in Utah. Now they've got 20,000.
It's pretty good.
I'd say that's a good problem to have, whether it took you 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 10 hours to get it.
I agree. You're drawing up interest in your new product.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing to get out of that situation in Arizona. It stinks that Arizona loses a team, but obviously there was a lot of issues
they're not
there.
showing up.
Right. You're playing in a college. You're playing in a college arena.
You got to say intimate. It was intimate.
It was kind of fun.
It's like a real estate trick.
It's intimate. It's cozy.
This is small. This is a small ass house.
It's intimate and cozy.
I'm telling you, I was there, guys. It was interesting. Now, it's not an NHL rink, but broadcasting there was chaos. It was chaos because the concourse, there's only one concourse, and it's like on the inside of the rink. It's not even like hidden like at the other place. Everybody's walking around. The concourse, they just basically put like the plastic barrier around this one area where you have all the TV cameras and both TV crews are right there. People can like reach in and they would be like, hey, Rev, high five. Yeah. Like you're on the air and John Kelly's like, I'm trying to broadcast here.
I've seen that happen before.
It was a fun atmosphere. It was very much.
On air?
Yeah.
We're talking right now.
Bright light says that I'm on air right now. It was definitely a college atmosphere in that building, which made it fun, but ultimately, it's not a professional environment. Yeah. So I think it sucks because I did play there, and when I played there, our attendance wasn't selling out, but we're still doing like 10, 11, 12,000 a game at the old Glendale Arena, but then the team really got bad. And fans stopped going, and that area didn't grow the way they thought it would grow, and the people weren't traveling the way they thought they would travel. It was just all kind of a big recipe for a disaster.
Yeah.
Carey, big news for you. Duke transfer forward Mark Mitchell, former 5-star recruit, has committed to Missouri. As he tells On 3 Sports. How big is this for the Tigers?
That's huge. It just it's a continuation of what Eli Drinkowitz has done over the last few years now. It continues to I'm sorry, football or basketball?
This is basketball.
My bad.
I mean, he's doing a good job too.
He's doing a great job too. Let me pause. 2, 3. This is huge because you didn't win a conference game last year. You're Dennis Gates. I mean, you gotta bring in the guys that fit your system like it happened 2 years ago. You know, I mean, look, if you can, any sort of big time recruit that comes in, college basketball, college football, it's the lifeblood for your program.
How did he do last year, Marsh? You said at Duke?
I think he averaged about 11 points.
Oh, okay.
Give or take, maybe 6 rebounds,
wonder
something
what
like
the
that.
cause for transferring was.
I feel like kids are just transferring to transfer at this point. That's what it feels like.
You know what? We had a couple of coaches on. We had Coach Williams and Coach REM, and they were talking about it, and Coach Henson just saying it's almost like where can I get the most money from, or it's not always a basketball or football decision. It comes down to, some of these kids are being offered things that when they get to that place, the offers are not as good as they may have thought it could have been, but good luck to them. Hopefully Mizzou wins a conference game this year.
Oh.
I want them to win a conference game.
Well, it's got to be better. One will be better than last year.
I mean, just win one.
Will be an improvement.
Yeah, just win one. All right, good luck.
The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are set. What is your favorite matchup in the first round?
Oh, my God.
Jamie, you sent me a video today. I think I know what your answer is.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of great matchups. The Bruins and the Maple Leafs, Colorado and Vegas, or Dallas and Vegas. That's going to be fun. But the one for me, guys, is the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And who would have thought that, 10, 15 years ago, we'd be sitting here salivating for the Panthers versus the Lightning in the first round. But they have this video that they put out there with, great moments from the Lightning, great moments from the Panthers, and then, 50 different fights that they've had in the last 2 years.
With Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit's the music for it.
Yeah.
I'm I'm all in. Pump that crap into my veins, especially Matthew Tkachuk the other night, already starting playoff mode.
Yeah.
He buried John Tavares and then face washed him and shoved his head to the ice. As the Leafs captain.
Nice.
And nobody went, they tried, but they really didn't do anything to Tkachuk. Mm-hmm. He's already.
Sounds like Toronto's ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, Toronto's ready for a quick exit again, is what I think.
That's what I'm.
But
Get
Matthew
that.
Tkachuk is going to be firmly lodged inside the Lightning's kitchen. He's going to be cooking steak and eggs for breakfast.
Were you surprised at what happened last night with the Kings and Vegas Golden Knights situation? So the Kings, if they win, they play the Edmonton Oilers. If they lose, I believe they would have played Dallas. And now Dallas will take on Vegas. The Kings now are taking on the Oilers. What do you think the thought process was there? Who would you rather play?
I'd rather play Dallas. I really would. I think the Vegas Golden Knights match up good against the Dallas Stars and the LA Kings. Playing Edmonton, you look at it two ways. One, you look at it as, oh my God, you got your hands full with McDavid and Draisaitl and all those offensive weapons. The other side is, I don't know if they're built for playoffs. They still don't have the back end that looks like a Stanley Cup contender. They've tried really hard to do that. And then Skinner, the goaltender, he's had a real good season, but is he the man? I don't know. The Kings got enough depth. They got size, too. They got physicality. They don't have the goaltending. I worry about that. But for me, if I'm the Vegas Golden Knights, I'm basically saying to the entire conference, bring it. They're so big. And Anthony, I know you're going to find this hard to believe. Tomas Hertl, he came back just in time for the end of the season.
Oh, did he?
And then that scumbag, Mark Stone. Yeah, he's practicing now in a regular jersey.
Wow.
Which means that lacerated spleen. And let me tell you, I know about spleen stuff. Now, mine wasn't lacerated. Mine exploded. It's a little different.
A little different.
Took it all out.
But looks like he might be.
Boy, the timing.
That's amazing.
Of this is
the health,
incredible.
you get healthy right at the right time.
At the right time.
He hasn't done this before, though.
No. Last year, I believe.
Okay, well, maybe last year, but not the year before, right?
So their final cap space.
Oh, wow.
Their final cap space was $0 on the year. And the salary cap is like 83 million, I think is what it is, 84. They're going to be like 10 or 11 million over the cap if they dress their proper team.
Okay.
I mean,
It's amazing.
scumbag move, but I mean, if the rules are set up to where you can take advantage of it.
Don't blame the Vegas Golden Knights. Blame the NHL. Real quick, the Lightning Panthers matchup is interesting. I think another intriguing one because of a clash in styles is the Avalanche and the Jets. The Jets defensively, I think they can match up very well with the speed that Colorado has.
Yeah.
And the first two games going to be in Winnipeg. So,
Guys, the Colorado Avalanche are at risk. They have no goaltender. Their number one goaltender had like an .890 save percentage this year.
Old Georgie?
Yeah, old Georgiev there. Not great.
not great.
So I know they won the cup with Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
But even Darcy Kemper had like a .902 save percentage. So they're at risk. In Winnipeg, they've got some guys that can put the puck in the net. They play a good defensive structure. Hellebuck is unbelievable between the pipes. That's going to be a fun one. I like
They finished strong, too. Like last night, I happened to kind of catch some of it because we did our bet the board. And
what was your
took
pick?
I took the Jets.
Did you cash in?
Yeah, they
Nice.
won. But I was watching. I'm like, they play hard. They wanted to finish strong. And some of these teams, they're playing a lot of their young guys, or just get through it. They finished strong, and now you get momentum heading into the postseason here. So I think that one's going to be interesting. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to grade the Blues 5-on-5 play. It's not going to be pretty. That's next on 101 ESPN.
What?
This is Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to grade the Blues throughout the course of the day today. Certain elements of the Blues. Now, I don't know if it was Marsh that decided to start this way or Jamie, you wanted to start this way, but...
No, this is Andrew Marsh's creation. It's his animal, and we're just along for the ride.
Okay, so Marsh decided to present something that the Blues... Well, wound up being the downfall of their season. Let's grade the 5-on-5 play, gentlemen. The 5-on-5 play, which, Jamie, I asked you toward the end of the year when we had you on one time when you were on the road. I said,
you had me on my own show?
Yeah. We welcomed you onto the show. You were on the road.
On the road.
Did you call it a celebrity line?
Yes.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wouldn't
Take it.
Listen, I wouldn't screw that up, Jamie. Not for you. All right. I asked you one time, Jamie.
Yeah.
If you were to pinpoint one thing that is going to keep the Blues out of the playoffs, what would that be? And with little to no hesitation, you said the play of their 5-on-5. The 5-on-5
I got it
play.
right. Hey, Carey?
Yeah, I mean, you were there every day, so I think you did.
Oh, that's
you knew pretty
good thing I got it right.
If you're handing out letter grades, what are you giving their 5-on-5? 5-on-5.
A D.
I think it's fair.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, Marshy, where do they rank league-wide 5-on-5? I figured...
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, I figure Marshy would have that pulled up with this, and if he's not, he can pull it up while we're talking, but it just wasn't enough. You weren't generating enough 5-on-5. You were at the top of the league when it comes to rush chances, but rush chances, it's like the sexy thing. Scoring off the rush is sexy, Carey. Like,
I know.
Friday night, sexy.
Yeah.
But if you miss the net or you don't score, it's over.
Yeah.
It's no more sexy time. It's back the other way.
No more sexy time.
No more sexy time. The puck gets taken out of the zone and the other team comes back, and now they're on offense and you're playing defense.
Right.
So although the Blues were great off the rush, that's one component. After that, though, you have to generate ozone time possession. You have to grind teams down. You have to get multiple chances. Like, once you cross that blue line, and I remember Scotty Bowman used to say this, once you cross the blue line, at minimum, you need 2 to 3 shots on net before that puck leaves the zone. Like, he goes, you increase your chances at that point, 2 to 3 shots on net, which means, 1, we have to get the shots on net. 2, we have to retrieve the pucks. 3, we have to freaking win the 50-50 battles.
That was one thing.
4? What did I get to?
I don't know where you got to.
I said 3 twice, didn't I?
This is
That's fine.
This is twice we've had math on the show, and that's 2 times too many.
Well said.
Thank you.
That's great.
When I watched the Blues last season, it was always interesting to see when we were in the ozone versus when the opposing team was in the ozone. It felt like the opposing team had more control of the puck. They passed
We'll get to the defensive zone, Carey.
Well, yeah, but I'm just talking about when we were in the ozone. It just didn't feel like the passing was crisp enough. We didn't have enough time there, and that goes into the 5-on-5 play. Being able to stay in that zone and, as you said, get 2 or 3 shots on goal. There were times where there were no shots, and you're going back the other way, and it's like, well, how do you expect to score? How are you going to score or continue to put pressure on the opposition? I will always remember you talking about how hard it is to play defense for 30, 40, 50 seconds. It's different than being on offense for that long. And so the Blues just didn't have enough ozone time where they were causing that defense to be stressed out and putting more pressure on them and making them stay down there to get better shots on goal and putting the puck in the net.
Marshy?
Yeah, I have some stats here. 27th in the league. I'm just looking at goals for, 151, so 27th in the league. They were the 16th worst goals against with 167. Obviously, this isn't about the offense per se, but 8th best, though, save percentage on 5-on-5, which speaks a lot to Jordan Binnington.
Well, Jordan Binnington, his numbers are off the charts. We'll get into Jordan Binnington, the goaltending, here at some point. But basically, he saved 16.5 goals above expected. Now, I know you don't like those stats, but it basically means a really, really unbelievable scoring chance that you should have scored on.
He did a good job.
But he made the save. But 27th in the league of 32 teams. And where did you finish? You finished, what, 16th in the league, 17th? Maybe 18th, somewhere in there.
I mean, based on where you finished, it's...
Yeah, I'd have to do the counting, but they finished out of the playoffs. They finished 1 spot out of the playoffs in the Western Conference, but they finished 27th out of 32 teams 5-on-5. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It means their power play helped them win a lot of games, and their goaltending helped them win a lot of games. So you got to do a much better job. 5-on-5, you got to do a better job of getting the zone. And one thing the Blues did that hurt them, and it has hurt them for a couple of years now, is looking for the bigger, better play. Sometimes they'd enter the zone clean, great zone entry. Even if it's off the rush, they get to that dangerous ice in between the dots and then pass out of a dangerous scoring opportunity to a non-dangerous area to somebody who's got, who's wide open.
Yes.
And I don't understand it. Like, you fight so hard to get to that middle ice. And I know that as a player, I didn't score a lot of goals, at least not at the NHL level. When I got to the middle of the ice, I shot it because that is like Beverly Hills real estate. So imagine taking, your Beverly Hills real estate and passing it down to, something that's way lesser on the food chain.
Right.
Like, what are you doing that for? And the Blues did that a lot. And then they don't get a shot on net because it's not guaranteed that pass is going to somebody who's actually going to shoot it.
Or I think Jordan Kyrou did that more times than I would have liked. He felt like, to me,
they were all guilty of it. Buchnevich, Thomas, Kyrou, all of those guys were guilty of that.
Is that just an unselfishness, just trying to make a better play instead of the best play being you taking the shot?
It's not really unselfishness. I mean, it is to an extent, but for me, it's just overthinking the game.
Gotcha.
The biggest lesson you can learn is take what the opposition gives you. And you had football, same thing.
No, the same thing, yeah.
If they're giving you the run to the right or giving you the run to the left,
Do that.
Why would you go do anything different?
We had
It's a trap.
Bruce Arians had
Really?
He called it
Even though it's working.
He called it the bunch of people rule. He didn't say that word. It's a different word. But a bunch of, folks. He said, if there's a bunch of folks over there, go the other way. Simplest thing you learned. There's a bunch of pieces. Too many people that side. Go that way.
Oh. There you go.
Pretty simple.
Does that go back to Craig Berube's philosophy of just holding on to the puck and finding the right shot rather than just shooting the puck on net just for the shoot for the sake of it?
So the misconception with what Chief was saying I don't want to just shoot from everywhere.
Right.
Like some teams just funnel pucks to the net. Like Ken Hitchcock's famous, funnel pucks to the net. Pucks to the net. Shut up, Hitch. Yeah. Come on, Reno. That's what they'd say. Trust me, the players would be like, they would go back and forth. But Hitch would say that, funnel pucks to the net. You're like, okay, you're over on the boards in a non-scoring spot, and you're firing the puck on net. Take the shot then. Don't be shooting it from the goal line, from the wall, from the far blue line. Like, none of that crap, because that could potentially give the puck back to the other team, which is what he didn't want. But somewhere along the lines, it got transformed into, well, we don't shoot the puck. No, that's not what Chief said. Chief said, work hard to get to the good ice, and then when you get to the good ice, shoot the puck. Don't waste shots from all over the place that have no chance to score.
Makes Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. If you accomplish both things, you're going to win the Bud Bash tickets for Cardinals versus Diamondbacks on April 23rd. Let's revisit the Paul Goldschmidt trade because the Cardinals and Diamondbacks, again, will square off in this Bud Bash deal. So the Cardinals acquired Paul Goldschmidt for Luke Weaver, Carson Kelly, a competitive balance round B pick, and who?
Oh, I know this one.
Text in. Jamie, you can't. Text in 314-399-9646, and then you can win those tickets to the Bud Bash game, assuming, of course, that you are the 101st texter. Get all the details on this season series of Bud Bash games now at Cardinals.com/promotion. Speaking of the Cardinals, with the NL Central off to a pretty hot start, does it change anything for the Cardinals? They should try to win games, I think, more games. That's next on 101 ESPN. 303, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The Cardinals welcome in the Milwaukee Brewers. It's the first time the Cardinals will take on an NL Central opponent in 2024. And the NL Central, despite Carey Davis calling it absolute trash and claiming that 4 out of the 5 teams aren't trying.
It's on me.
The NL Central's off to a really hot start.
Or you.
Brewers.
Can't keep up.
11-6. Carey, please, you had your turn.
Quiet, please.
The Brewers, 11-6, plus 25 run differential. The Cubs, 11-7. They will be 12-7 in about an hour because they are up 8-1 on the Marlins, who are about to drop to 4-16. I mean, that, wow.
That's
Sorry.
life comes at you fast.
Sorry, Skip.
Yeah.
The Pirates also have 11 wins. They're 11-8, and the Cincinnati Reds are 9-9, but they got a plus 10 run differential, much better than the Cardinals, -9.
Oh,
9
Yeah,
10.
that's a tough one there.
That is a tough one. So, Marsh, you had thrown this out there for discussion. You said, does the NL Central, the current climate in the NL Central, does it change the Cardinals' approach? Are you talking about from a front office standpoint? You're talking about on-field standpoint?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the deadline. If the Cardinals are in the mix, does that change things, knowing that they do have to compete a little bit harder to win this division compared to what they probably thought the division was going to be heading into the year? I mean, a lot of people thought the division was going to be terrible, including Carey. Yeah, not you, Anthony.
Well, the three of us warned Carey. Like, slow down.
To tell them the difference.
We
but,
did, yeah.
I was full steam ahead, just like on my
Carey's
own time.
passionate.
He
Especially when
is.
he has
He's
an
abs-
opinion like
I mean,
that.
I even
Absolutely.
said that the Cardinals didn't even have to try because the division was going to be so bad. You remember that? Yeah. Yeah, you remember that? Yep. You remember that.
I don't know if I worded it quite. I mean, I don't know if you worded it quite like that, but sure.
Pretty close.
But also, for the future, like, we can assume, the Brewers aren't trying, they're not doing anything. Well, the Brewers consistently put out guys I've never heard of and win ball games. I looked at a stat the other day that the Brewers have one 90-plus loss season in the last who knows how many years. Like, the Brewers have been consistent no matter who they put out there. So, and obviously you have the Pirates who are gaining steam. You have Paul Skeens who's going to come up, who's looked pretty good in AAA, and the Reds have young talent. The Cubs, their offense looks pretty good. Like, there's teams in this division that are playing really well right now, and if that continues, because they've been so bad that they are starting to acquire good young talent, the Cardinals need to change their approach and not just be like, all right, well, we need to win the division. We're in an all right division. I think we can win it. Like, I think they need to change their approach. If this continues, of course.
What would be the approach that needs to be changed? Because it's not going to be financially. It's not going to be we're going to spend more money to get better players. Is it a development issue? It's not a scouting issue, because I think they do a really good job of scouting players and getting those players here. They just don't keep them here. For some of those guys. So what is the change that could take place? Because you got 2 cornerstone players in Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. You got guys that are potentially, and depending on who you ask, Nolan is probably a Hall of Famer. Paul Goldschmidt maybe right there on the cusp, probably a Hall of Famer. And you got young talent. So what shifts need to change for this team to just start by winning or being at the top of the division?
I think it starts with the rotation.
I agree. You have to develop a stronger rotation. Now, I know that you need to develop these younger guys.
You draft and develop, Carey.
I know that's the plan.
The double D. Nice job.
We love the double Ds. That's the plan.
Yeah.
But how? When? Where?
Tink Hens had 6 strikeouts again today.
Little P.
5.1 innings, 6 strikeouts.
Bring him up.
A 2 ERA.
The Cardinals had this approach where they were going to draft and develop pitching. And then what had happened was, and from a position player standpoint, they kind of just went for the high floor guys that they knew were at least going to make the big leagues, and then they'll fill in from there. And I'm talking about like the 2000s strategy after Tony La Russa left, and it really became, let's be honest, it became John Mozeliak's team. So that was their approach. And while they were developing some of this young pitching, and it didn't just come from first-round picks. I mean, I remember when the bullpen was all full of young guys like Seth Maness and Kevin Seagrass, guys that they found at the back end. You know, Mo, I thought, in his scouting department, they had a pretty good feel for it. But at some point, and I blame like the Steven Piscotty, Randall Grichuk years, and those two players were fine. They just weren't 3-4 hitters.
Right.
I think Mo changed up the philosophy. He knew he needed to bring in better offensive pieces, and he was willing to sacrifice the pitching, believing that. And I'm just speculating here, okay, based on what has happened and based off of what we know. I think Mo had the opinion of, I'll still be able to find pitching. Like, we're good at that as an organization. We need to invest. You're not now. But at the time, I think that was the philosophy, Jamie. So you bring in guys.
That was quick.
You bring in guys like Marcell Ozuna. You make that trade. You wanted Giancarlo Stanton. He chose the Yankees. Then you pivoted to Christian Yelich. The Marlins told you no. Then you pivoted again to Ozuna.
Which is my biggest beef.
Right, so you still gave up a sizable package for that.
They kept the same package on the table pretty much for all three guys.
Right.
And when the player each time was getting lower.
So Ozuna comes in. As we know, you gave up two aces, two front of the rotation arms for that.
That's not good, Carey.
You pivoted your draft approach to bring in guys like Jordan Walker, of course, and bring in guys like Mason Wynn. Okay, great. Nolan Gorman, same deal. Dylan Carlson, who, we'll see what he winds up being. Unfortunately, you tragically lost Oscar Taveras in the car accident, so that has to be factored in. But my point is, you got away from what I thought Mo was doing well, which was that developing the pitching, and now you've got this wide gap where your young pitchers aren't ready. You don't know if they're going to be top-end guys or 4 or 5 guys like Zach Thompson. And you've got this unknown future. And, oh, by the way, your offense is underperforming. Your studs are Goldschmidt is underperforming. Arenado doesn't have the pop right now. Jordan Walker is not, crushing the baseball at this point. Gorman has been in a funk. You got this offense that you built to be pretty good on paper, which is vastly underperforming. So I think that's kind of where we are right now with the Cardinals. But to your point, Carey, about philosophy and how you change things, I think it starts with developing top-end starting pitching.
And the Cardinals have been trying to do that, trying to right their wrong. But, Anthony, we've talked about this in depth. But, again, it's a bunch of guys on 1 year. But, again, it's a bunch of guys on 1 year deals just trying to kick the can down the road for another year to see if McGreevy, Graceffo, who knows, maybe Tink Hence is ready next year. And you're just crossing your fingers, hoping and praying. But there's no guarantee that even if they make a major league start or they're on the rotate, there's no guarantee they're going to be any good.
Right.
There's no guarantee that they're going to actually move the needle for your team.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest problem is they had the gap where they didn't draft and develop pitching. Then they did draft and they're trying to develop. They're continuously lagging behind, though. They can't catch up. And they don't have any of those surefire stars that are waiting. Tink Hence is the only one I've heard of where people are like, he could be a difference maker. McGreevy and Graceffo, they're like, they'll be fine. They're developing.
Right.
But that's the problem is they have this gap and they keep trying to fill it with 1 year deals with middle of the road pitchers.
When we come back, I also think there's another issue that relates to the NL Central. And I'll tell you what that is next on 101 ESPN. So we're just having the conversation about does the NL Central and the fact that the NL Central is off to a pretty good start, does it change anything for the Cardinals in terms of their approach? I had mentioned before, yes.
I have to address the text.
Please do.
You know that old saying that we have here, Anthony, what I said and what you heard?
Yes.
Yeah, we got one of those situations here.
What you got?
So the Air Comfort Service text line, of course, 314-399-9646. Get a message from the 314 says, this was the first year they signed guys to one-year deals. Jamie pulling stuff out of you-know-where, right? Last year we signed no one. The year before we signed one guy, Matt, to 4. You guys don't have any idea what you're talking about. Okay, I said you had the wrong staff last year, and this year you signed guys to one-year deals. Two separate comments.
It's kind of hard, Jamie.
Last year, you had the wrong guys trying to bridge your gap. This year, you signed a bunch of one-year deals to continue bridging the gap.
Yeah.
Two separate comments.
Yeah.
Well, our listener thinks I said that last year we signed one-year deals too. No, we didn't. We had expiring contracts that those, let's just be honest, those are considered to be one-year deals. Jordan Montgomery was on his way out the door. Adam Wainwright was on his swan song. So those were one-year deals because you didn't like go out and sign in a guy to an extension.
Right.
So those contracts expired. Those are two pitchers that you were hoping two of your young guys could come up maybe, or even a Zach Thompson or Liberatore, who didn't seize the moment. So because of that, this offseason, you had to sign guys to one-year deals to once again kick the can down the road. So for the 314, although you still may think that we don't know anything that we're talking about, that's fine. I can handle that. But at least you know now what I meant.
Yeah, you let two starting pitchers. You traded them. Jordan Montgomery and Jordan Hicks.
All right, so
Hey, let's slow down. Sonny Gray is 2-0 with a 0.00
Yes, he is.
Can he pitch 5 days in a row?
We're going to find out.
All right.
Bob Gibson would do it.
Yeah, he would. Yes, he would. All right. So I teased the other issue as it pertains to the NL Central. And this is something that is more kind of just my philosophy on it. You guys can disagree. Air Comfort Service tax line, as Jamie mentioned, 314-399-9646. And this isn't new. I've shared this thought process before, and I've related it to the Tampa Bay Rays. If you look at the NL Central, you cannot say that it's a payroll problem for the Cardinals. They're second behind the Cubs in the NL Central when it comes to payroll. Now, the Cubs have spent just over $224 million, whereas the Cardinals are at $175.5. But if you look at the Pirates, who are ahead of you, the Reds, who are ahead of you, and the Brewers, who are ahead of you, they are all spending significantly less. So you can't say it's necessarily a payroll thing. Oh, the Cardinals don't spend. What I think is part of the issue for the Cardinals is they have their feet, they got 1 foot in each, like, two different areas. They can spend a little bit. You're 12th in payroll. Could they get inside the top 10? Absolutely. Could they get inside the top 5? Not without making it very uncomfortable. So they kind of spend. They certainly spend more than the Brewers, Reds, and Pirates. The other side, they also think that there's some sort of savvy analytical team that can find these diamonds in the rough. But they don't do that well enough either. So if you look at it, one of the advantages I think a team like the Brewers has, and the Rays have, is that they know exactly who they are from a spending standpoint. They're not going to spend. So all of their resources, scouting, development, all of that, have to go to one particular area. They have to be able to pick the pockets of teams that don't know what they have, or roll the dice on a Rhys Hoskins or a Rowdy Tellez or one of these guys that, you know, they got a little bit of pop, but they got injured or they're coming off a down year. Give them a 1-year deal. They know who they are. They're not going to go out and spend big. But with the Cardinals, let me finish this off. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, they also know who they are. They ain't going to spend anything. And they've been so bad, they've been selecting at the top of the draft. The only way they're going to win is with young guys. And now you're starting to see the maturation of certain players in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. The Cardinals, again, they're half and half constantly. So I think they wind up, Jamie, you had said this in the last segment, they wind up chasing their tail a little bit. Are we an offensive team or a pitching team? Oh, we'll try to do both, but we don't do anything well. Are we a scouting team? Can we find these diamonds in the roughs? Well, kind of, but not really. And then, okay, let's spend a little bit more, but we're not going to spend on the top shelf. We're going to spend on the mid shelf. So you're going to get a mid shelf player. Like
You're going to get the off-brand.
Exactly.
You love the off-brand, Anthony.
I do.
Yeah. You say all the time, why buy the name brand when I can get the off-brand? Tastes almost the same.
The old Tampa Bay Rays, Milwaukee Brewers style.
You love
Yeah.
that. I remember you went on a rant, Anthony, about the off-brand.
Did I?
Yeah, you
I don't
did.
think I did.
It was epic.
It doesn't sound like
Yeah,
me.
you blacked out, but it was good.
No, that does sound like me. Yeah.
Like Paul Gorman.
Yeah.
Like Paul Gorman. Yeah.
It was like that time when you start talking about a pee pool. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the pee pool.
Yeah, get used to it, Cardinals fans. That's the area you're going to be swimming
You're not
in.
getting the
And guess
infinity
what?
pool with the waterfall.
No.
Oh, you're in
that
the
was
pee
Juan
pool.
Soto.
It was.
And guess what happened? You wound up in a pee pool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a spring break pool in
It's a spring break pool.
Mexico.
It always amazes me.
All-inclusive resort.
So here's a funny thing / fun thing / gross thing that I like to do is with a buddy, or even if it's with Ashley or whatever, we pick a horse. And what I mean by that is like we're at one of these party pools, whether it's on vacation or at the Lake of the Ozarks, and you're watching people just slam alcohol.
And knock it out of the pool.
And you pick your horse. Whose horse is going to stay in longer than the other? Knowing full well they're emptying their bladder right into the water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got someone who's been there for 4 hours and hammered back
hasn't moved.
25 drinks. You're
Right. Yeah.
like, he's nailed to the floor. He's not leaving.
I'm not swimming over by you, pal.
It's a fun game.
Did the water ever
Tell your
turn
kids about
blue?
it. I wish that did happen.
Like in
Grown-ups?
Yeah.
Just for
Change
the
the color.
sheer shame of that person.
Yeah.
It's a big dark blue cloud.
It's not me. It's
Yeah,
definitely you, pal.
you.
But yeah, I would think it's funny at one point to go stand over next to my buddy, empty my bladder, and walk away and be like, oh my God, this guy peed in the pool. Blue ring all around him.
When I look at you talking about the Cardinals and
Back on the Cardinals, Carey, good job.
Sorry, I'm trying to get us
Nice
back on
segue.
track. There you go. Again, you are it. The division is going to be what they are. The Cardinals. We can talk about scouting, developing, bringing players in. At some point, players have to play. And right now, your power left-handed batter in Nolan Gorman is batting 191. Your first baseman is batting 182. Your right fielder is batting 180. Like, they aren't hitting the ball. Mm-hmm. And so if your three, Nolan Gorman was Paul Goldschmidt is the 2. Nolan Gorman was the 3. He got moved down. Jordan Walker should be up higher in the lineup. He's batting 8th because they're not hitting. And so when you aren't having the success at the plate, you aren't getting on. I told you earlier the Cardinals are second to last in home runs this season in Major League Baseball. You're not going to win games. You're not going to have the success. Players have to play. You hire people to do their job, and when you have superstars, and I would still have, he may be aging out of that superstar category, but Paul Goldschmidt is still your superstar. It's like how Sonny Gray is our ace. So he's still in that category. He has to perform at that level, and if you don't, you won't have success. Nolan Gorman has to hit the ball over the fence. That's what he's paid to do. If not, you probably should have traded him in the offseason for Dylan Cease if he's not going to hit 30 to 35 home runs, because that would have been the White Sox problem and not yours. That's his job. That's what they have to do, and they have to do it well in order for this team to be successful. If not, they will not have success.
We got a text from the 314. The issue with the Cardinals is not the amount of money that they spend. It's the way in which they spend it. They aren't proactive and have to spend their money on Band-Aids for previous problems.
I agree. I think that text that from the 314 absolutely nailed it. I completely agree. The Brewers spend wisely.
But you say that you because I would assume they're talking about the pitching staff, right? When they're talking about Band-Aids. Well, the lineup should be, I don't think that those are Band-Aids. I think those are everyday players. I think those are guys that you saw, evaluated, developed, and you brought them here to be the players that they need to be for the St. Louis Cardinals. When you're talking about the Band-Aids, in my opinion, and maybe the texter can text in, you would be talking about the pitching staff with 1-year deals. That's a Band-Aid. But they've been playing well in these 19 games. So where does the problem lie?
Well, but I think, Carey, when I think back to, because we're still talking about the same GM, right?
You're thinking previously,
I'm thinking
Goldschmidt and
previously.
Arenado could have been the Band-Aids for a team that didn't have offense. Ozuna could have been the Band-Aid.
I'm thinking even more like Dexter Fowler. I'm thinking Mike Leake. I'm thinking about, some of these other guys that you paid, again, mid-shelf. Yeah. Let's give you an extra. You can't. The Cubs knew you couldn't play center field anymore. Let's give you an extra year. Wilson Contreras has worked out from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But they also rolled the dice on him, too, with from a catching standpoint. So I agree with what the 314 is saying here. You're almost like you're constantly chasing. Now, were there circumstances involved in that? Sure. They wanted to move. The Dexter Fowler deal was because they needed a center fielder. He couldn't play center field, but they fooled themselves into thinking he could. And they did.
That's pretty snarky.
The Cubs had his ass playing on the warning track, and the Cubs play in a college park.
Well, that's because you got to run.
It's easier to come in. There you go. It's easier to come in.
Really
and
is,
back.
Carey.
Joe Madden knew that. Cardinals were like, no, he's a center fielder. Anyways.
I just got a text from Jackson Burkett.
Oh, no.
Action Jackson.
What's he got about the NBA play-in?
No, actually, it just says, I pee in the pool.
Jackson. Come on, man.
You know what, guys? I'm not surprised.
Me either.
Like, that fits my FBI profile.
I don't know what to say anymore. Let's just grade the defensive system for the Blues next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the
That sound means it's time to play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. By the way, congratulations to Sean from Troy. He won the tickets, the Budweiser Bash tickets for Cardinals and Diamondbacks. We'd asked you, revisiting the Paul Goldschmidt trade, the Cardinals gave up. You right there, James?
Carey got mad at me the last time I pulled the paper. He's like, you don't even think, right? I'm like, what?
The Cardinals gave up Luke Weaver, Carson Kelly, a competitive balanced round B pick, and who in that Paul Goldschmidt trade. And Marsh was talking about, Marsh said that there's a bunch of people saying, well, Zach Gallen, it's Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen was part of the Marcell Ozuna trade. The other player that they gave up to get Goldschmidt from Arizona was Andrew Young. Gallen went to Miami, and then the Marlins traded Zach Gallen to Arizona. So that's how he wound up there.
Didn't work out for the Cardinals?
No. All right, let's play the lineup game, boys. Tonight, Freddie Peralta on the hill. Fastball Freddie, not anymore. He's got a lot.
He's got 2 pitches.
He's got other pitches that he's going to shove right up your you-know-what.
No.
All right. Yeah.
What?
Who you got, Jamie? Donnie Baseball?
Donnie Baseball.
All right.
Show us. Donnie boy.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
Anthony, this is your guy, right? You know what's your guy?
R.L. Chalk?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'd scratch him. He hasn't done crap.
I agree.
Send a
Show
message.
us Paul Goldschmidt.
Chalk. Yeah. Get my tub of chalk.
This is what we have here.
We had Lars Taylor Tatsui Newtbar.
At one point, and Wilson Contreras.
Nolan Gorman. There, Nolan, Paul.
This is our first kind of interesting test here. You got a righty on the hill in Peralta. So does he?
It's Newt.
I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, we're just copy and paste.
All right,
He said he wanted to stagnant lineup. Well, he's not screwing around this year.
You all say
the way the offense is rolling, why would you change anything? You know?
Go ahead. Nope, I'm not doing it. You
Go
do
ahead,
it.
Jamie.
Show us Lars Taylor Tatsui Newtbar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt. A newt.
Ain't got better. Like I said, why change anything?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay,
100%.
so show us.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
Well, this is here. This is Willie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH.
No.
Edgesmith. Check.
All right, fellas. Doing good.
Okay,
Keep it
so
up.
we have to think about the outfield here right now.
Yeah.
Because where Donovan's playing can tell us a story.
He's probably the DH.
Well, what about Gorman here?
I don't
And
think
you don't think he's the DH?
I don't think Donovan's the DH. no.
Who do
I
you think is the DH?
I'm hoping it's Contreras.
I'm hoping it's
And you're
Herrera.
hoping that Herrera is
Yeah,
playing
or either
catcher.
way. Yeah. I'm hoping
You
it's
don't
either
think,
Contreras.
so you don't think Nolan Gorman is in the lineup?
Oh, I do. It's a righty on the bump. He's definitely going.
So if
He's right here in the
I don't
6-0.
disagree with. I would like to see Herrera at some point in this lineup, but I agree with your philosophy, which
Yeah,
is
I
like
think it's Gorman.
we got to figure out what Ollie's trying to do.
I think we have to show us the popcorn here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show us the popcorn.
Who is the popcorn?
Paul/Nolan Gorman.
Get your fresh organic popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
That last one gets me.
Randy.
Sexy. Get your
So-
popcorn ready.
That means you still
Randy.
need a center fielder.
Randy Moss.
Terrell.
Oh, Terrell Owens. That's right.
Tio.
What the hell
It does sound like Randy Moss.
it
so if
doesn't.
you,
Randy
it does.
Moss is
high
he's
pitch.
very. He's
not high.
He's got a higher octave. Too.
Yeah, he's got more.
He does not
way
have
more.
a higher octave.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't.
Terrell Owens' voice is much deeper than Randy Moss. I watch Randy Moss on TV, Anthony.
Randy Moss can also talk, like you said, in that
got a
twang to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's nothing like it.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get Randy Moss on, and we'll
That should
ask him
feel
if he
that
thinks
way.
he sounds like Terrell.
The horse guy, the horse announcer,
The horse announcer?
Randy Moss.
Oh, no. Is he an announcer or is he a jockey?
I think he's an announcer.
All right. Makes sense.
All right, guys, can we stay focused, please?
No. Not on this show.
I mean,
not
we're
at all.
6 for 6 here.
Let's. Can we get all of them?
That'd be nice. Would we
let's go
call
for
that
it.
a walk-off?
Yeah.
Yes, we would.
All right.
Have you gotten all of them? Before?
I'm
more
sure
like a
at some
perfect
point we
game.
did,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's more of a perfect game too.
Yeah. I think we got a perfect game on the second game of the year. Your first?
Did we?
Yeah. I think so.
One
Anyways.
of those, we'll call it an immaculate game,
Oh,
'Cause we
yeah.
right? The immaculate inning.
Yeah, I like it.
Immaculate game.
All right.
It's a good call.
Yeah,
guys are
it
welcome.
makes more sense.
So
All right, so we got three spots here.
This is Jordan Walker.
I think this is.
What do you need? Right fielder, center fielder, and shortstop.
Shortstop. I think in any order or in some kind of order, Walker, Wynn, Scott.
I think it's Mason Wynn here.
Okay.
All right.
I just
That's
think.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, why would you have him 8 or 9? And this is just me. I'm not thinking like Ollie. I'm thinking like me.
Okay.
Why would I have him 8 or 9 with the way he's been swinging the bat?
I'm with you.
I'd rather put that speed on the bags at 7.
Let's
do it.
Go ahead, Jamie. It's your birth child.
Show us Mason Wynn.
Right on, Johnny, right on.
Nice.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the time. That's awesome. But, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up! All right, so now
Walker.
That's Jordan Walker.
Then Scott.
He's not batting ninth.
do
It's
what?
either-
Guys, I'm not disagreeing with you. Let's pump the brakes here. Okay, we have an immaculate game
On the
going so
line.
far.
Okay.
All right.
Let's figure out our outfield. Right now we have Newt. and
Yes.
that's it.
I put him in linebacker instead of left field.
I mean, he's a smallish guy.
I put LB as his linebacker.
That's funny.
But so far we only have one outfielder, which means it's Walker and Victor Scott here,
Yes.
or does Siani get in again?
I don't think Siani is playing.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go with Jordan Walker.
Okay. Carey, go
Show
ahead.
us Jordan Walker.
What's his angle?
What angle? Launch!
Launching now.
All right. So now it comes down to Victor Scott or player X.
It's Victor
I think
Scott.
it's Scott.
He's still here. He's playing.
That's why
I
I'm
agree.
worried. Like,
He's still playing.
Yeah.
He had 2 days off last week. How many more days you need?
well,
Right.
just saying. Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
Show us Victor Scott.
Great Scott.
Focus. Speed. I am speed.
That would have been cruel had Marsh played the sounder and then goes.
He's done that before.
Yes.
I didn't want to do
Scumbag.
it. I'm part of the
Nice.
team too.
Yeah, you are. All right, run it, Marsh.
All right,
Good
leading
job,
off.
guys.
Nice.
Your DH, Brendan Donovan,
boy.
batting second baseman. Oh, I'm sorry, first baseman.
What?
Whoa.
Sorry, I put my handwriting looked
You're
a
all
little
right.
bit like Carey's on that one. Batting second, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Batting third, left field, Lars Taylor Tatsui Nootbaar. Batting fourth, your cleanup hitter, third baseman. Batting fifth, catching Wilson Contreras. Batting sixth, second baseman Nolan Gorman. Batting seventh, the shortstop Mason Wynn. Batting eighth in right field, Jordan Walker. And batting ninth, center field, Victor Scott the second.
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw. Home run.
All right, standing still the same. Jamie with 3, Marshall with 2, Carey with 0.
Well, when
Anthony
they don't hit home
with
runs,
gotta hit
it's
home
impossible
runs
for
at
anybody.
some point, man.
And guys, I don't want to be negative, but we also extended things this year to where it's not just
Anytime.
the first home run. It's any home run.
It's the second week of the season.
It's the
third week of the season.
Yeah.
You got
They
it.
play 6 games a week, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but we only get like
5.
4. A lot of times there's a day game. So
Yeah, you're
there's
right,
that.
Anthony. That's
And they have a day off.
It's a big disadvantage for us.
Yeah, it is.
Really, it's like, it's impressive what we've done.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie, go ahead.
Well, Gorman, for me, left-handed bat, Freddie Peralta's going to throw up a fastball low in the zone. Because we know if he throws it high, Gorman's going to miss it. But he's going to throw it low in the zone. And Gorman's going to crush it. Well, am I wrong?
No.
Yeah, I know. That's what pains me the most. Nolan Gorman, please.
I'm going to go with a guy that is 9 for 25 against Freddie Peralta with 4 home runs. Give me Nolan Arenado.
Oh, boy. To reach.
Thanks.
To reach.
You know what? Is it on me?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my guy Wilson Contreras.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with Brendan Donovan.
Wow. You're looking to get back into this thing, huh?
Yes, I am.
He's over.
No, he's got one. That's how I got my 3 points.
No. I mean against
Oh, he's due then.
That's the due factor.
Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, hey, I don't want to sway you one way or the other. You stick with him.
Thank you.
Hey, maybe they'll all hit home runs tonight.
If that's the case, Anthony definitely profits for that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I need
So Gorman hits
Wilson
3.
just hit 2 or 3 of them.
Well, actually, did we establish that rule? If someone hits 2 or 3 home runs?
Any home run,
Any
you
home
get
run.
points.
Okay.
That's
Any
why
home run, you get points.
If you pick Donovan,
Yeah.
if he hits 1, that's obviously unbelievable. He gets 3 points. But imagine if he hits 2.
Wow. 6 points.
I'd be up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending
It ain't
on-
going to happen, but imagine.
He's not going to hit a home run.
All right. Let's grade the defensive system for the Blues next on 101 ESPN.
Let's talk about the Cardinals.
Hey, at R&R Tire Express, it has never been easier to get the tires that you need and the wheels that you want, because now through the end of April, you can request a quick quote and R&R will pay half. That's right, half your first month's payment. And when R&R says quick quote, they do mean quick. We're talking 60 seconds tops. All you have to do in order to get R&R Tire Express to pay half your first month's payment is simply submit your contact info, your vehicle year, make, and model on rnrtires.com, and then you will secure your half-off offer today. Get yourself some new wheels, get yourself some new tires, and don't worry, requesting a quote is a no-commitment inquiry. R&R Tire Express offers flexible payment options. Everyone's approved, no credit needed. Here's the best part. You're not just going to get free tires, or you're not going to get tires with the half-off offer from R&R Tire Express. You're also going to get that peace of mind coverage that includes free tire installation, free rotations, free flat repair, and more. So let the R&R Tire Express team pay half your first month on all in-stock tires and wheels when you request a quick quote at rnrtires.com or when you call 833-ROLL-NOW today. Again, that's R&R Tire Express and rnrtires.com. Continue our grading of the Blues with a look at the defensive system, the defensive structures. That was a big topic of conversation coming into the year, Jamie. How would you grade it now that it's all said and done?
So last year had to have been a D- or an F, right? Like if we're being completely
not this past season.
Yeah. So I'll start again. The 2022-2023 season had to be graded as a D- or an F from a defensive structure standpoint, certainly defensive zone. 2023-2024, it was an upgrade. It just was. Now, was it a massive upgrade? I'll give it a C. And your goaltender was outstanding. As far as backdoor chances and things like that, Jordan Binnington led the league in saves for those backdoor opportunities, which means those guys probably weren't covered, and so he had to make a real big save. But you took steps in the right direction. And Craig Berube and the staff, before Drew Bannister got there, they'd focused on, because they'd played more of a man-to-man. It was a weird kind of thing. When the puck got up above the top of the circles, they went man-to-man. When it got down, they went to a zone. And I think that what happened then was when the puck moves quickly, let's say it goes low to high, high to low, now what? Because when it went low to high, you went man-to-man, but it goes back down to low. Now you're a zone. You're like, yeah, I thought you had him. You know, that type of thing. So from a systems standpoint, Craig Berube and the staff wanted to condense the middle of the ice again. Basically, everybody drops inside the circle, inside the dots here. We force one guy at a time, out back, and then you block shots. Anything through the middle, you knock down or you block the shot, which was much better. It was more difficult for teams to get the inside ice this season. But I don't know if the Blues anticipated giving up so much offensive zone time. And the reason I say that is because there were pockets, like when you play a team like Colorado, Edmonton, Carolina, these teams that can really wheel and deal out there, they were possessing the puck for extended periods of time. Like broadcasting the games, I remember, we had the little ticker at the bottom of the screen, shift length. And a lot of times, anything over a minute turns red for that player. And I remember so many times, like, we're out here, red. Everybody's red right now. And you still haven't possessed the puck. You're not chasing necessarily, but you're defending. And again, Carey, I go back to what I've said 1,000 times. Playing defense takes way more out of you than it does to play offense.
Sure.
So by default, your team ends up more tired, right? Because you're defending all the time, and the other team gains momentum because they're possessing the puck and they're creating opportunities. And if nothing else, so you went from a D- F to a C this year. You have to elevate it to a B plus next year. I'd love to get to an A. I mean, obviously that's the A plus would be the ultimate goal, but there's very few teams in the NHL that run an A plus defensive zone. And even the Vegas Golden Knights last year, pretty damn close with their defense core that they have and their forwards and whatnot. They were still somewhere in that A- range because you still do give up opportunities because the teams are good in the NHL. So for me, there has to be steps forward to where I think they can play a little tighter. The stick length away for me has always been kind of the natural progression on this one. That way there, when the puck goes to your guy, you're a stick length away. You're one step away from being able to interrupt that play or take that player out. And when you're a stick length away, you provide that gap. So it'd be like a cornerback on a wide receiver. Instead of jamming him at the line of scrimmage to where he can roll off you and go, and now you're chasing him, you create that 2-3 yard buffer zone, and then you can just stay within reach, and when the pass comes, now you can converge on that guy. So for me, it's the same way in the defensive zone. If you can tap the guy with your stick, you're an adequate distance. If he starts to get in too close to you, you don't want that either, because now he's 2 strides away from pulling away from you. So now you got to get cross-check in, keep him at bay, but you're still a stick length away. And I think that would limit the extended zone time for some of the other teams. You can play this, clog the middle system still to where you have one defenseman pressuring the puck in the corner, your centerman behind, but everybody is stick length away. And that way there, wherever they move the puck, you have the ability to get there at an equal time to at least create a puck battle with that player, rather than them just firing the puck around low to high, skating around all over the place. And yes, you're guarding the middle of the ice, you're doing your job, but you don't have the puck. So for me, that would be the only tweak, is get just a little more aggressive outside of that middle of the ice only.
I'm with you. I think
that's what Carey's been telling you.
That's what I've been telling you the entire time.
He's the one who drew it up for me.
I did. You were asking questions in the office, and I was like, Jamie, you should know this. You've been doing this long enough, but here you go. Does that philosophy or mindset change with the change of players? Like, do you need to change the players? Because in theory, what you're saying sounds not difficult, but if you have the players that are unable to do those things or unwilling to do those things, is it more so the defense gets better with a change of personnel or just a change in mindset?
Well, I think that, look, both things can be true, right? And I do believe that this was positive this year,
right,
because you needed to break free from whatever it was in 2022, 2023. It just wasn't working. You gave up so many scoring opportunities, so many empty net goals, net front presence galore. Like, you just didn't guard the middle of the ice. So it was necessary to change, and with the staff that you currently have and with the players that you currently have, it was going to be small progressions, and they did. They improved quite a bit, but just not to where you can be considered to be a contender in your division, let alone for a Stanley Cup. Like, you have to become almost airtight in your defensive zone, which is difficult to do.
We talked a lot about Jordan Bennington and the amazing saves that he made, because he made some great saves. Is that style going to eliminate those easier shots and make the shots a little bit tougher for the opposing team to get off?
Well, yeah, because right now there were times when the Blues condensed the middle of the ice, but their forwards were 4 or 5 strides away from the defenseman when they got the puck, which sounds like, oh, yeah, that's okay. We're going to just go out in the shot lane.
Right.
So they have to, they can't shoot the puck, but they're still possessing it. And where it really starts to sting is when you get teams like the Colorados, Edmontons, Vancouvers, where you have mobile defensemen. Carolina. Like, you watch that game, their defense are active the whole friggin' time. So when you give them 2, 3, 4 strides away from you, you're chasing.
Yeah.
If they're a stick length away, you're challenging them right away. But at that point, you have to be committed to stick on puck, body on body.
Right.
You can't be waving the wand out there, or I call it sweeping the broom.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. So you stick length away, stick on puck, body on body, taking away more time and space than what you currently are. And I think that will limit some of the opportunities, some of the shots. Like, how many games the Blues get outshot? You're like, 45 shots.
Yeah,
right.
Now, some of them were not dangerous chances, but it's still, you're defending for an extended period of time, and I'd rather not do that.
Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We got a returning Gauntlet contestant next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, I don't care if you're looking to purchase a new home and you're already working with a realtor that suggests a certain lender. If you're purchasing a home, that means you're purchasing one of the largest investments that you're ever going to make. Why not go with somebody that's going to comb through the loan to ensure that you are maximizing your savings, especially up front? Because that's what our guy Stewie's going to do for you. He got into this industry here in St. Louis, and he's been here a long time now, to save listeners money, to save clients money.
Yeah, and I love when we get to see Stewie, how when he's telling us about some of the success stories, like, he gets his eyes get big. Like, he's so happy to help, especially 101 ESPN listeners. And one way that he helps is he's got the bagel loan. It's his creation where you borrow $200,000 or more, and you talk about no fees, no underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no title fees, no lender fees. That's saving money. That goes back to your original point. Stewie wants to save you money, and he wants to get you to the closing table. If you're looking to purchase that home, he doesn't want you getting right to the finish line and failing. No, he wants you to get you across the finish line to the closing table so that you have the house of your dreams and you're saving money at the same time. And all you have to do for unbelievable customer service like that is call him on his personal cell phone number. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
Day, night, weekend, doesn't matter. Right now, Friday night, beautiful out. Yeah, give Stewie a call. He's going to help you out. If you can't remember that number, what can you do?
Jamie, you can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
For your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Let's bring back Craig for round 2 of the Gauntlet. He knocked off Carey yesterday in random, and he's back for round 2. What's up, Craig?
Oh, nothing, man. Just dealing with that green stuff that falls from the sky and is everywhere right now.
Money?
Yeah.
All that pollen, all that.
Damn, Craig.
Love that.
I was going to ask where you are.
Where
Yeah, I was
you
going to say,
are.
whereabouts right now in St. Louis? I got to come say hi. All that money's falling.
All right.
All your friends at Green Envy, I guess.
There you go. All right. They're going to have your lawn looking fantastic. There's no question about it.
Plug.
Yep. All right.
You get it, Craig. You get it.
You get the show. All right, Craig.
Yeah, no joke.
Would you like to take on Marsh, Jamie, or me in round 2 today?
Let's go with Marsh.
Marsh is all right. Here we go on a Friday. All right, before we send Marsh into the cone of silence here, Craig, go ahead and tell him to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel.
All right, Marsh is also going to hand us the launch codes.
He's refusing to.
Oh, Marsh.
Marshy, by the way,
Marsh is as honest as
I love your
anybody.
T-shirt today, Marshy. One of the nicest ones you own.
Marsh is on the
SynergyHockeySkills.com, by the way. Camp registration now available. No clear camp.
I cannot see, Carey. What do you got?
It is hockey.
Oh. Craig, how do you feel about hockey?
Craig.
Hopefully not dumber than a dictionary without definitions.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That T-shirt's now available.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
That was well played.
All right, Craig, you're going to get 4 hockey questions. Marsh is going to receive the same 4 hockey questions today. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options or Marsh asks for the options. And then those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Question 1. Which team did the Blues score the most goals against this season? And it's not in one game, it's collectively. So which team did the Blues score the most goals against this season, collectively?
It seems like we play better against good teams, and we play down to our competition. I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche.
All right, final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Craig. Question 2. Which team scored the most goals against the Blues this year?
Oh, boy. Going for it. I'm going to say the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I like your thoughts.
All right. Final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Question number 3. Which Blues head coach has the best points percentage in team history?
Best points percentage. I would have to go with Quenneville.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Craig. Question number 4. What number did both Rod Brendanmore and Brendan Shanahan wear with the Blues?
Oh, my God. I can see it. You're going to have to give me the options on this.
All right, 19, 29, 39.
Brindamore and...
Shanahan.
Who else? Shanahan. I'm going to have to go with 19.
Final answer?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. All right, Marsh is coming back in from the cone of silence right now. He's locked in, ready to go on a Friday here. He did some sort of dance there.
I thought he fell.
Did you fall?
Stumbled.
Or what did you do there?
I was
Mark?
trying to hit Carey with the RKO.
Well, as long as it wasn't the heartbreak kiss.
Hey, really?
Too soon.
Yeah, way too soon.
All right, sorry, Carey.
Man, you cut
Not
Shawn
really.
Michaels. You cut deep.
Shawn Michaels.
Yep. Hey, thanks.
End scene.
All right, Marsh, you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Carey, you want to inform Marsh what's going on here?
Yeah, Marsh, pack a lunch.
Okay. Your category is hockey.
All right.
Question number 1. Which team did the Blues score the most goals against this season?
Oh, wow.
Not in an individual game, collectively this season.
I would have to assume it was a Central team, or at least a West team, because they only play the East twice. Let's use the options.
The Colorado Avalanche, the Anaheim Ducks, or the Chicago Blackhawks?
Ooh. I think I'm going to go with the Blackhawks. There was at least 2 games when they scored, I think, more than 5 goals. That's a lot of goals right there, gentlemen. Plus, you had a few other games. I'll say the Chicago Blackhawks. Final answer.
All right, Andrew. Question number 2. Which team scored the most goals against the Blues this season?
Oh, my goodness.
It's way different than the first question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna need the options for that one, too.
Was it the Arizona Coyotes, the Nashville Predators, or the Winnipeg Jets?
Ooh. I remember a few games when Nashville also scored against the Blues. Multiple games, so I'll go with the Predators. Final answer.
Question number 3. Which Blues head coach has the best points percentage in team history?
Oh, my goodness. These are tough. Point percentage. You said point percentage or win percentage?
Winning point
Okay.
percentage, yeah.
I mean, we brought him up earlier today. I'm going to have to go Ken Hitchcock. Final answer.
Wow. Final question. What number did both Rod Brendamore and Brendan Shanahan wear with the Blues?
Man, I thought 14. 14 comes to mind. Wasn't around when Shanny was playing for the Blues, but I do remember him wearing 14. So I'll say 14, final answer.
Brendan Shanahan was my first fight in the NHL.
Was it? How'd you do?
In training camp here in St. Louis.
How'd you do?
Pretty good.
Good.
I cross-checked him in the face to start it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It wasn't on purpose, though.
No.
I wasn't looking.
Never
and he
is.
Kind of fell to a knee, and I was cross-checking him like in the ribs. I got him across the face.
Ooh, you know my rule on this, Jamie.
Yeah.
Guys shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah. We ended up going for wings and beer at the train wreck after.
Nice.
So everything was fine.
Hockey players. All right, here we go. Craig Marsh, round 2. This time in hockey. What number did both Rod Brendamore and Brendan Shanahan wear with the Blues? Marsh, you said 14 because you recalled Brendan Shanahan wearing 14. Craig, you went with 19. Correct answer is...
Well, Brendan Shanahan did wear number 14 for the Red Wings and the Rangers. 19 with the Blues.
Craig did need the options. Nevertheless, he's up 1-0 over Marsh. Which team did the Blues score the most goals against this season? Craig, without the options, you went with the Colorado Avalanche, who were an option. Marsh, you went with the Blackhawks with the options. Correct answer is...
The Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago Blackhawks is correct.
Avalanche, not a bad answer, though. The Blues put up 8 on them in the first game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So not a bad option.
That's who I was thinking at first, but then Chicago, when you said Chicago, that something triggered in my mind.
So we got a 1-1 tie. Which team scored the most goals against the Blues this season? Craig, you want the Columbus Blue Jackets, figuring, hey, bad teams kind of own the Blues this season. Unfortunately, the Blue Jackets, as we know, were not an option. Marsh, you asked for the options. You landed on the Nashville Predators. Correct answer is...
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Predators goal song. Nashville Predators.
Marsh with a 2-1 lead.
Man.
It comes down to this. Which Blues head coach has the best points percentage in team history? Neither of you used the options. Both coaches that you said, Marsh, you went with Ken Hitchcock. Craig, you went with Joel Quenneville. Both were options. This is how it's going to work. If it's Joel Quenneville or Craig Berube, who is the other option, Marsh wins. If it's...
Wait.
I'm sorry, Ken Hitchcock. If it's Ken Hitchcock or Craig Berube, Marsh wins. Excuse me. If it's Joel Quenneville, Craig's going to win. Because that would be a 2-pointer.
It would.
And Marsh right now is up 2-1. Carey's confused. I'm not.
I am.
Carey,
Don't
just
worry
go
about
with it.
Whatever you said. That's right.
Carey, which Blues head coach has the best points percentage in team history?
Joel Quenneville is not the answer. It's Ken Hitchcock.
Craig.
That was dirty.
That was real dirty.
Craig's already got
you're
everything.
I'm sorry, Craig.
Wow.
I apologize.
Rub it in.
I don't think he's sorry after yesterday. I think that was predetermined. Well said there, Craig.
Oh, my goodness. Heartbreak Carey.
Good job, Craig.
Good, guys. It's all good.
So Marsh wins 4-1 today. Sorry, Craig. Hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Good job, Craig.
Thank you.
There you go, Marsh. Nice job.
Marsh.
You're very good in hockey, man. You're very good in hockey. You're great. You're good overall, but I think hockey might be your numero uno.
Those are tough.
Yeah, those ones are always a little like the first two. I would have struggled with those first two questions. The other two I knew, but who they scored the most goals against and that, those are tough.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Let's grade the Blues' depth scoring. I actually think this deserves a decent grade from Jamie. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Even listen.
with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. All right, grading the Blues depth scoring. I had said, I think this could deserve a decent grade from Jamie, because I remember at one point, Jamie, you were talking about how the depth scoring was kind of carrying the Blues. That was for a short period of time, though. Overall, one of the issues for the Blues, they didn't have enough depth scoring.
Yeah, and look, when you're grading the team on the season, you have to grade the entire season. And you're not wrong, Anthony. When the Blues made a push at the end of the season, they were getting some of that depth scoring. Obviously, Bolduc started to score. Mm-hmm. Brandon Saad went on a tear. Braden Shen started scoring. He got to his 20th goal. But that proves my point.
Right.
From what I said earlier in the season, to where I was like, the difference right now is the Blues aren't getting the depth scoring. This is why they're losing some of these games, because if Thomas, Booch, and Kyrou don't score and the power play doesn't score, they weren't winning, which is not great, obviously. But down the stretch, when they made a little push there, they got that scoring. So maybe it was the emergence of a Zach Bolduc. Certainly Jake Neighbors on the scene for a portion of the season. He really helped a lot, but a lot of those goals, power play goals, right in front of the net. So to me, the Blues depth scoring, I'll give it a C-. It's not terrible because they had a good push at the end, but
overall,
here's where it kind of falls off a little bit. Is your defenseman, you didn't get enough goals scored from your blue line. Colton Parayko had 10 goals. He led your defensive squad in scoring. But Colton Parayko doesn't play the power play.
Right.
And that's not a slight, really, at anybody. It's a compliment to Colton Parayko for being such a difference maker 5-on-5. He scored 10 goals as a defenseman, even strength. Like, that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But when you flip it around a little bit and you've got guys that play the power play on a consistent basis, Torrey Krug had 4 goals. Perunovic, 0 goals. Justin Falk, 2 goals. So your depth scoring is not just your forwards, it's your entire roster, and you just didn't get enough from your blue line. Nick Leddy, only 3 goals. So that's, to me, where you miss some opportunities. And then if you go through the lineup even further, Kevin Hayes, 13 goals. I mean, a lot of those the bulk of that came early in the season, and then the well kind of went dry for Kevin. Kasperi Kapanen, 6 goals. Sundqvist, 6 goals. Walker, 7 goals. Now, Walker only played 45 games, and I like Nathan Walker, and his job isn't necessarily to go score a bunch of goals, but you need some of that. Sammy Blais, 1 goal in 53 games. Certainly not enough. Nikita Alexandrov, 0 goals in 23 games. I will bring up somebody who surprised me in a pleasant way. Alexei Toropchenko, 14 goals this season.
Pretty good season.
Is he a perennial 15-ish goal scorer? I don't know, because I think that if you take Alexei Toropchenko, and this is always going to be my measuring stick or my comparable, is if you took him and dropped him on the Avalanche or the Stars or the Florida Panthers, where would he be in your lineup? Mm-hmm. He'd be a fourth liner. Fourth liners don't ordinarily get 14, 15 goals just because they don't get the bulk of the ice time. That's all. But I love his game. I love the way he gets to the net. I love his physicality. Overall, I think he's a great player for the Blues for what he provides. But again, that depth scoring had quite a dip in the beginning of the season. Halfway through the season, when you went through stretches where you weren't winning games, it's because you weren't getting depth scoring. Some of the teams match up pretty good against your top line. They stack the deck, too. You get their toughest forwards, you get their toughest defensemen. Yep. A lot of those teams have good goaltenders. But it picked up down the stretch a little bit, and that was good because it helped the Blues have an opportunity to maybe squeak into the playoffs. But I think they got to increase that depth scoring for next year.
Would you put that secondary or lack of secondary scoring basically on Kevin Hayes? I mean, not solely, but Kevin Hayes, Kasperi Kapanen, and Jacob Vrana. Because you expected, especially with those last
Vrana,
two.
Yeah, he dropped off the
because he wasn't even playing.
Well, some people talking about 20, 25 goals when the season was starting because of the clip that he had last year. Mm-hmm. And Sammy Blais, same thing. Sammy Blais ended with 9 goals last year, 10 goals in his short little amount of time here. He got 1 goal this year. Vrana to the minors. Kasperi Kapanen, I love him. I think he's an awesome dude.
Right.
He works his tail off, fast, all these things. He just couldn't find the back of the net. 6 goals in 73 games at $3.2 million is just not enough for your team. If you're going to occupy that kind of cap space, you got at 3.2, you should be putting up 15.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Right.
So to me, it's a situation to where the Blues have to upgrade some of that secondary scoring, and Braden Shen ended up with 20 goals. But I think Schenner, being as honest as he is, I think he'd tell you that he could do more, and he had too many pockets, extended time of 17 games without a goal at one point. You can't have that. 4, 5, 6 games, it happens, but 17 games, and compliments to Braden Shen because he still ended up at 20 goals. So imagine if he had, 25, 26, 27, maybe even 30 goals because of the opportunities that he had. So Army's got to find a way to upgrade that depth scoring at the same time as keeping guys like Jake Neighbors and Brandon Saad in that 25-goal area as well.
Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. We're going to Sports Six-Pack next. So if you have a question, you can send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, the Sports Six-Pack next in the Fast Lane. Now until the end of April, Mosby Building Arts, well, they've got a great deal going on if you're looking to remodel your bathroom. $1,000 off bathrooms plus low monthly payments. It's their spring refresh sale. They also have, if you're wanting to upgrade the look and feel of your home, they've got 10% off windows or 12 months no payments on new windows. Again, this goes through the end of April, April 30th. It's from Mosby Building Arts. Now's a perfect time to upgrade both, or maybe you want to take on one project at a time. Either way, if you want to upgrade your windows to energy efficiency windows, old windows, they tend to let in that draft. They can let that cool air escape during the summer months, or that warm air escape during the winter months. Old windows that crack, they look, brutal. A lot of times, when it comes to the outside look of your home, don't look the best. Get yourself some new windows and trust that it's going to be done right, because at Mosby Building Arts, they do it right the first time. You can work with a designer that will help you pull everything together to make it look beautiful. They have expert craftsmanship, 10-year workmanship warranty. Mosby builds your bathroom to code, or if maybe we want to do a kitchen, great. They're going to do that the same way. They pull permits. They order every item. They set a work schedule. They bring your bathroom or your kitchen or your basement to life. And Mosby crews, they keep the work site clean. They take the utmost care and safety when it comes to enduring the construction techniques. And they do just a perfect job for you. So if you want it done the right way, call Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company, 314-909-1800, or visit callmosby.com. Tell them Stalter sent you.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Brewers tonight as Kyle Gibson takes the mound going up against Freddie Peralta. First pitch is at 7:15. Tonight you can listen to the NBA play-in games as the Heat will take on the Bulls. Pregame starts at 5:30. We are off a little bit early today, so once again, Heat Bulls 5:30 pregame, and then following that game, it will be the Pelicans going up against the Kings. Tip-off should be around 8:30. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack. So if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, time for our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with your questions via the Air Comfort Service text line.
Question number one.
Anthony, I actually brought up a question to you in the break a few hours ago. We were talking about Zach Gallen, who the texters thought was the correct answer for our trivia question of the day. But the question that I proposed was, if Zach Gallen was the one that the Cardinals traded for Paul Goldschmidt, do you think Cardinal fans would be up in arms about getting rid of a Cy Young type pitcher?
I don't think so.
Nope.
I think
because
you look at
Goldschmidt
the Gold
won the
Gloves and
MVP.
Like, you'd be like, you know what? That's just a good baseball trade.
Yeah.
Everybody won.
Everybody won. As opposed to Ozuna, who did have one good year, but he's not here anymore. And
I honestly think they may.
Oh, he's in Atlanta.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe they should have kept him around. He's playing really well right now.
Are you talking about Sandy Alcantara and Zach Gallen? Because I would agree.
I'm talking about
In terms
Marcelo
of
Ozuna.
keeping them around.
Well, I mean, could you keep all of them? I don't know. Maybe not.
No, you couldn't.
right.
But we said it would basically be Sandy Alcantara for Marcelo Ozuna, who was good with the Cardinals, and then in this hypothetical, Paul Goldschmidt for Zach Gallen.
Yeah. Okay, so it comes down to this then. Did they chase the wrong thing?
Not at the time. That's what you needed. Hindsight,
what do you need now?
You need pitching now, so go back and get them. I don't know.
Can we do a redo?
Just don't save your game, Carey. Just don't save it.
Start over. Turn it off.
Okay, but this does
kick the wall and start the game over.
That's right.
Tom Brady style.
Right. Jump up and down until it resets.
The goat that way.
Yeah. Hey, here's okay, but does it? Okay, hindsight being what it is, right? At the time, like you said, you're going for offense. If you did have the philosophy, though, that we're not giving up excellent pitching no matter what, like we're not going to tap into our pitching prospects.
Maybe not two.
We'll pass.
Maybe just one.
We'll pass on the bopper, what we think is the bopper, for 2 years because we're going to be a team that is built on pitching and defense. Maybe you don't make that deal, and maybe your starting rotation is outstanding right now. I don't know. I know a lot of people were complaining about the offense at the time. Kind of feels like we're still complaining about the offense.
Well, you made a very good point. Offense is pretty streaky.
Yeah.
Defense is solid. Pitching, as long as it's healthy, is usually solid. But hitting, if you hit 3 times out of 10, you are a Hall of Famer. You're going to be one of the best players in Major League Baseball right now. And so it is. You're going to fail in hitting more than you have success. Pitching is always going to be the thing that you need.
So to build off your point here, five starters. What are the odds that all 5 starters are pitching well at the same time?
Who are the 5 starters?
Right. Okay. But in general, is it more likely that you could get five starters, or even 4 out of 5 pitching well at the same time? Is it more likely than getting all 9 guys or 7 guys or 6 guys hitting at the same time? Because normally it's only like 3 guys hitting all at one time.
Yeah, Anthony, I have a question.
Yeah.
You're in the right segment.
Yeah. Is it illegal to have both doing well? Like, can you have good pitching and good hitting?
Where are you playing?
Just overall.
No, this is an important question. Where are you playing?
Major League Baseball.
What city?
Los Angeles.
Then it is not illegal. No.
Okay.
It is illegal for Nolan Gorman, though, to bat against a left-handed pitcher. We did establish that.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if the Cardinals are allowed to hit and pitch.
No.
Well, of
Not
course.
at the same time?
No.
You can get one or the other. You pick.
It is allowed in
Day-to-day.
LA.
That's why the Central
It is allowed in
Division has
Atlanta.
such a tough time.
That's what he said. They're going to stink because it's Midwest thing, I guess, right?
Midwest thing?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The pitching and the hitting at the same time. That's why the division is going to be so bad.
Yeah, if you look at the Central Divisions, I feel like they're prohibited from doing both at the
the
same
middle
time.
of the map.
Right. Damn Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's cool.
Question number 2.
From the 314, Mizzou's renderings are amazing. That is for Faroe Field. How important is this to help build the program and national pedigree moving forward?
I think it's always. I don't think it moves the needle as much as some people think it does, but it does move the needle. When you're showing recruits to your campus and specifically to the field where you're going to play, it is impressive. If you've got like an unbelievable setup and it's like, Carey, I mean, look, you can speak to this more than I can. You were recruited, although you didn't show up to Michigan or answer their phone call. But still,
It was the facility, right?
yeah, the big house is terrible.
I never saw it.
Yeah, I was there for a game that had 100,000. It sucked,
It was,
Carey.
I didn't see
You
that.
would have you know what,
Packed to
Carey?
the brim.
You would have hated it, okay? So
Probably.
But going back to going back to your recruiting days, to where you were recruited, like you show up on campus, you show up to the football field or the facility, and you have, let's say, the current version of what Faroe Field is, and then you see the renderings, you have that version. Like, it's a little more exciting.
Oh, definitely. I think that's why you see all these programs continuously building or adding to their practice facilities and their weight rooms, their stadiums, because that's what recruits want to see. You want to see the uniform room and see how many different combinations of uniforms. What does the locker room look like?
Unbelievable?
It is. And it's really, and it's catered towards those, 17, 18-year-old young men in football that are going to potentially be on your campus. So with Mizzou making the additions that they're making and winning football games, let's not bypass that part, because that's the most important part. If you're winning games in the SEC, one of the toughest conferences in football, and you're able to have all of the additions, it's definitely going to be good it's going to bode well for recruiting.
Question number 3.
This one comes from the Snake Pit. Tanisha has a question. Do you guys have a favorite Grateful Dead song?
Touch of Grey.
Who are you touching?
Gray?
I would appreciate if you grew up a little bit, okay, Anthony?
Me.
You know what? You're right. Jamie, I apologize.
You should.
I don't.
To our
I don't-
listeners.
I don't know. I wouldn't. You would have to play some Grateful Dead for me to know that that's who it was.
I'm not.
It's a great song. We'll get by. It's a catchy little tune. It's my favorite, guys.
I don't know.
I'm not even a big fan, at all, but I like that song.
Yeah. No, I don't have one.
Nope.
I'm sorry about that, but I just don't.
I forgive you
Yeah.
for that. What?
Thanks.
Just go. Question 7, please.
Question number 4.
4, please.
From the 573.
6-pack.
I want 7. It's Friday.
By the way, before I came into the Gauntlet, I was with Mike Ryder, and I walked in, and he was playing It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday then. Anyways, for the 573, if you could go back in time and attend any World Series game, which game would you choose and why?
Well, we talked about this in the office the other day. I think you were there, Marshy. I don't know. I was talking about with
was, yep.
Piddles and Rock. and I saw this live with my own eyes on TV, but I wasn't there, was the Joe Carter Toronto Blue Jays. If I could have been there at the Sky Dome, as they called it at the time, for Joe to smash Wild Thing Williams there for the game winner, I think that's pretty epic.
That's pretty good.
There was a good, even though I was, the game that comes to mind, other than Cardinals games, obviously, the game that comes to mind, it was the Indians and the Cubs. I don't know if it was game 5 or 6. It was kind of back and forth, and then the Cubs ended up winning. It was a really good game. So if it was one game that I could think of, because I thought the Cubs were going to lose, and I was excited. I was
Are you talking about game 7?
Was it game 7?
When Rajai Davis hit the home run to tie it?
Was it game 7?
Yeah.
It might have been.
Did you just pick a Cubs game?
Yeah, he did.
Because I thought they were going to lose.
Rain delay.
And they did.
Jason Hayward with the...
I thought they were going to lose.
I know you went to Illinois, but you don't have to pick.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Hey, it's the first game that popped into my mind. David Freese. There you go. Game 6.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
what the hell is wrong with
what
you
I heard
all?
too, Carey.
Huh?
Well, what the hell's wrong with that? You mentioned
said
a
it.
Cubs game.
Yeah, he
you
said the Cubs
heard
suck.
something. That's what I said. You heard something different. Question 5, please.
Please, quickly.
Don't you move us along.
Quickly.
Don't you dare move us along. So like non-Cardinals, because everybody
everybody's
would
gonna
pick
pick
the
games.
David Freese.
Here comes a Giants game.
No, I'm not going to pick a Giants.
Watch this guy.
I'm not going to. I swear, I'm not. I kind of do now. I kind of want to now, but I won't.
Be better if you did.
The Yankees Diamondbacks. No, I'm actually being serious. So the Yankees Diamondbacks after so it was the 9/11 season. So that being in New York, Yankees Diamondbacks. My dad attended, I think, game 2. And he said it was surreal because he's there and, the ground zero is right there.
Yeah.
And you are watching a game and it's kind of surreal. And it was George Bush who threw out the first pitch in one of those games. And just the magnitude of the series, and the series wound up being in New York. I think that would be kind of, I'm going to just keep using the word surreal.
There you go.
That and Giants Royals game 7 when Mad Bum came in and out of the bullpen.
There it is.
I'm actually proud of it.
Question number 5.
All right, this one comes from Lou. We pretty much know Mo is predictable when it comes to what he is going to say and do. Can the same be said about a good portion of Cardinal fans? Certain Cardinal fans certain Cardinal fans pick any player to trade/cut, and if that player went to have success elsewhere, they'd blame Mo still. I'm not a Mo defender, but it's hard to not defend a guy when people are mad he traded Lane Thomas and Tyler O'Neill. He's mad. Some trades. That's it.
It's hard.
Hold on. He nailed it. Yes, of course.
Some of the text is a little off. But anyways, enjoy your weekend, boys. Lou.
You can set your watch. Lou's right. You can set your watch. It depends on what time of year it is, right? So the off season comes about. As soon as that first signing happens, so in this case, I think it was Aaron Nola that re-signed with the Phillies, you could set your watch to when a certain portion of the fan base here is going to start complaining about Mo not doing something or not spending enough. And then that first signing happens, and you could set your watch to when the fans are going to start complaining about, well, what's next? This is all it's going to be. If it's a smaller signing, like I think this year was Lance Lynn, people were ticked off about, well, this is all they're going to do. Yes, it becomes very predictable.
You're not going to please everyone. So
ever in anything, not just Cardinals fans, any walk of life. Yeah.
You're gonna drive yourself crazy trying. Now I think Mo does a good job of saying the hell with it. My opinion.
Wow, we got a Mo fan here.
Yeah, we do.
He does.
Not even wearing the glasses.
Yeah, you can pass on here, but yeah,
you don't even need them.
No, I don't.
You're just saying without them.
How much did Mo pay you?
Nah, I didn't get it yet. I'm still waiting. He told me it was coming.
Did you get one of those calendars?
I did.
I don't get them. No. They don't send them to me.
Do you think they put $1 in the very back in December? Just to see
if you go through it?
Just to see if you actually used it.
No, it's $1
shake it out.
I don't think they want to spend.
That's true.
And I don't want them to give me $1. Put that towards the damn free agent.
Put it on the field.
Get me a starter.
Yeah.
Question number 6.
Hey, we got through 6. All right, so Cat Dad Gamer from the Snake Pit said, I just predicted Canucks versus Hurricanes with the Canes winning in 7. That is Cat Dad Gamer's Stanley Cup prediction. What would be the worst possible matchup for the NHL in the playoffs for the Stanley Cup?
I think the Canucks are going to get bounced.
Yeah, they're going to bounce first round.
Yeah.
They are not playoff built. In my opinion, Rick Tocchet's done an unbelievable job. In fact, I believe he should get some votes for Coach of the Year. Whoever votes for that. And,
hey, Jamie, don't you get a vote this year?
Maybe. But if I did, he'd probably get some votes for Coach of the Year for turning that franchise around. But the Vancouver Canucks, they are not built for the playoffs, so I don't see them getting there. And I know that's not part of the question. The worst possible... from a U.S. viewership standpoint, probably the Carolina Hurricanes against the Winnipeg Jets.
That would be awful.
From a viewership, Anthony.
Yeah.
From a straight hockey standpoint, it'd be a hell of a matchup. But people here, like, the casual fan in the United States doesn't give a you-know-what about the Winnipeg Jets. And the Carolina Hurricanes, there's like, I don't really know. Like, unless it's like the Rangers or the Flyers or the Bruins.
And they're wearing those red helmets with the white jerseys. They look terrible.
What about Vancouver? Wouldn't Vancouver be just as bad against Carolina?
I think if any Canadian team is going to be in it, it either has to be the Oilers or the Maple Leafs.
I agree, yeah. I thought you were going to say Vancouver. I'd be like, wow.
No.
Vancouver, though, is more of a recognizable franchise than the Winnipeg Jets. And it's just because more people in the States will recognize, Vancouver.
Right.
It's right above Seattle, or they've traveled through Vancouver. It's a major,
Winnipeg might as well be Buffalo.
Not even.
You ever been to Winnipeg, Anthony?
No.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Hang on now. Slow your roll.
Is it like Buffalo? I've never been to Buffalo. But
what month of the year is it?
It was... Well, I went a few times being close there. I went in September, not as bad. And then I went during the winter months.
See,
Jamie.
that's your fault. If you go, honestly, though, if you go to Winnipeg, Manitoba in like July and August, it's unreal. It's because it's right above Minnesota, right? The land of the lakes. Well, same thing with Winnipeg. Got all these lakes and you can go fishing and the outdoors is beautiful. It's beautiful.
No humidity, too.
But when you go in the winter... Siberia and Winnipeg.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We do need a new Beat the Streak contestant for the top of the hour, so text in Beat the Streak to 314-399-9646. Our continuation of the Blues grading. We're going to get into the Utes.
Yeah.
Next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then you need to know about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals. They're tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. At Scrap Mart, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess sometimes, a real mess. So if you set up an account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed at how much scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you own that heavy equipment, it breaks down often. You got to repair it over and over and over again. At some point, it's going to break down and you're going to have to get rid of it. When that time comes, Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to do it yourself, you can haul it away yourself to one of their convenient locations. They got 3 of them, Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy buy it. Copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, you name it. If it's recycling, it's recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale that will give you the highest payout, and you will always get your top dollar for your scrap metals. Just visit them online at scrapmartmetals.com. Again, that's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
Let's continue our grading of the Blues with a look at the youth. Youth was served.
Utes.
The Utes.
Youths.
I think if you're starting off with a conversation about the youth here, fellas, you got to start with Jake Neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I would say so.
I think.
Probably.
Breakout season.
All right.
For Jake the Snake.
Yes, very much so. So if we're grading them.
Yeah. Why don't we put these guys in categories here? So, like, Neighbors. Who would be the youth? Neighbors. Bolduc.
Kessel.
I think you got to include Hofer.
Well, yeah, Hofer. I thought you were asking my list. I didn't know we were doing.
I thought it was a collaboration. I thought we were a show.
It's his.
That's
you didn't.
No,
that's my fault.
I thought
you didn't get the memo.
Was there a memo?
Well, he said Jamie's going to tell us about the youths. Yeah. So But now that I know we're...
No, go ahead. We don't want to interfere.
Collaborating.
No. We won't.
No, Hofer. Who's your next guy, Anthony?
Well, it's Neighbors, Bolduc, Hofer. Kessel?
Perunovic?
No. You would include Perunovic?
He hasn't even played
25.
82 games in a full regular season.
Tyler Tucker.
I feel like he's been around for 6 years now.
No.
He's only played 80 regular season games.
How long has he been in blue?
About 3 years.
It feels like 12.
Do you put Toro on there? He's not a young guy.
He's not
24.
really. Is he 24?
Yeah, he's 24.
All right. Well, let's put little Torpo in there.
Toro.
What'd you call him? Toradol? That's a wonderful
you got
thing.
some, do you have any? Please and thank you.
I wish I did.
Derek, he knows.
You? All right.
Toradol. Where? This show would be completely different.
We're not in the locker room anymore, all right? Let's clean this up.
Hey, you just got hit by a bus. I know, it's great. I'm fine. All right, back on track. So I've got 7 young guys here.
All right.
And we'll add in a little separate category. We'll put Dean, Snuggie, Lindstein, and Dalibor.
All right.
To be determined. Okay, so if we look at the youth overall, from a contribution standpoint, your youth probably gets a B this year.
I agree.
I mean, you have to. Jake Neighbors went from 4th line to 1st line to 27 goals, second on your hockey club in total goals scored. Pavel Buchnevich tied with him at 27, of course, Carey at 31, but nobody really predicted Neighbors to get to 27.
Right.
So when you look at Jake Neighbors, I think you have to say, okay, it's a great job by him. Before we get to some of the guys who didn't play that many games, let's go with Kessel. Matthew Kessel, called up from Springfield. Not one practice or morning skate with the team, jumps on the ice in Pittsburgh. Your reward is playing against Crosby and Malkin pretty much all night. He did really well, and he was very, very solid for the Blues. So much so that they gave him a contract extension, a one-way contract extension, meaning meaning you will be in the NHL next year. So I like what he did. Joel Hofer, you brought up earlier, Anthony. He was great. He was exactly what you needed from a backup goaltender this year. He ended up with a .914 save percentage, 2.65 goals against. He was an absolute road warrior for you.
Yeah.
Handles the puck so well, very confident. Yes, thoroughly impressed with Joel Hofer. Toropchenko, he outkicked his coverage this year. I mean, getting the amount of goals that he scored. Well, 14 goals, you just don't expect that from a 3rd or 4th line checker, and he did that. So I think that those guys right there are at the top of the class when it comes to your youth. Now, if you go to the back end of the season, Zach Bolduc started off slowly, but he was kind of introduced slowly. Like the first handful of games, Drew Bannister and the coaching staff were kind of like, well, we're kind of going to play him 2nd or 3rd line, but it all depends on the matchup and where the face-off is. So they were coddling him a little bit, which is fine. It's fine. You don't want to just blast a kid's confidence right away. But then as the season went on, his responsibility got greater, and Zach Bolduc ended up being a guy where when he's on the ice was making a difference offensively. So he, to me, is another hit, if we're doing hits and misses, you know. Scott Perunovic, I think he got better as the season went on. I still think that there should be more meat there. 0 goals, 17 assists, quarterback the power play. Playing with Colton Parayko, things got better, but they should for anybody. And I think Scott Perunovic still has some developing to do. His defensive game suffered quite a bit throughout the season. He does have trouble picking up coverage in the defensive zone. Obviously has some trouble boxing out in front of the net. He's not the biggest guy. So Scott Perunovic, to me, still has developing to do. This is a very important offseason for Scott Perunovic. He's got to put on some size, some muscle, while maintaining that agility and that offensive prowess that he has. He's got to kind of blend that all together. Tyler Tucker, this guy, I like Tyler Tucker. Last year, Tyler Tucker had figured it out. Was playing tough in guys' faces, closing guys out. I was like, man, his anticipation of the play is fantastic. You remember me saying that stuff. This year, it's almost like he forgot the answers to the test. Craig Berube brought him in and talked about, well, he's going to be one of our guys. And then the aggressiveness, that sandpaper just wasn't there for a lot of the season. And you're like, what? But then he'd have a game where he fights Brady Tkachuk at center ice here at Enterprise Center and does really well. But then the physicality disappears for like 4 or 5 games. Towards the back end of the season, I feel like it finally clicked for him again. He was playing much more aggressive, had a couple of tilts, was in guys' faces, hitting a lot more. He became more of what he really is. So being he's younger, that's good that he recognized it. Now he's got to carry that through into next season. And would you guys agree with all that so far?
I would.
Yes.
And the last part of it, Zach Dean, I don't really think he played enough games, but he showed some promise at the end. He's got good speed, tenacious on the puck. I think he's got a future at some point here with the Blues. And then Snuggie, Lindstein, and Dalibor Dvorsky, they're the future. They're a year to 2 years to maybe 3 years away from making a serious impact. But it's nice to have what we just talked about, all those guys that were on the roster this year, and then you still have these guys who are supposed to be even better. Snuggerud and Dvorsky and Lindstein are supposed to be studs. They project to be like difference makers.
Yeah.
You put that alongside with Neighbors, Bolduc, Kessel, Hofer, like,
you're good.
Yeah, your team's looking pretty good.
All right, we've got Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day next on 101 ESPN. Looking for a new ride? Well, my friends at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have great offers going on right now on new vehicles. In fact, they've got different incentives throughout their Fresh Start program, which started at the beginning of April and still going on right now throughout the end of the month. Now it's a great time to head out to Herculaneum or check them out at AutoCentersNissan.com because you can take advantage of 0% APR and payment terms all the way up to 84 months or up to $5,000 off MSRP. Or, I told you, got different incentive options, right? No down payment needed. 3 months of no payments is another option. Give your wallet a break. Save that tax money. As always, all new Nissans come with their exclusive lifetime warranty and 30-day promise. The 30-day promise, they're so confident that you're going to love the experience, you're going to love the vehicle, that they give you 30 days to bring the vehicle back, and they will refund your money back if you're not completely satisfied. And they don't just sell cars. They create unforgettable experiences, one happy customer at a time. Their dealership, in fact, boasts over 700 vehicles, new Nissans, as well as pre-owned vehicles. It is truly your ultimate car buying destination. So again, start at AutoCentersNissan.com, then head out to Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
5:06, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Time to play Beat the Streak, and we needed a new Beat the Streak contestant. So, Marsh, who do we have?
Today we have Brian joining the show.
What's up, Brian?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for playing Beat the Streak with us. Hang tight. Marsh, what do we got for standings?
So Jamie has a streak of 4 right now.
Oh, job, Jamie. Nice job, Jamie.
Anthony, you're at 3.
Hey.
Carey and I are tied at 1. And obviously Brian is new, so the listeners are at 0.
All right, so here's our order. It's going to be Jamie, then me, then CD, then Marsh, then Brian. Jamie, lead us off.
I am going with Newt. There it is. All right. Newt. There it is.
I took Brendan Donovan to hit a home run, so might as well double down with Donnie Brook.
I thought about him too.
So I'm going to take Donovan.
I just realized he's going to go 0 for today. So
Gopher.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, I believe in the Cardinals. I don't understand why you guys don't. Go ahead, Carey.
Carey's going to pick somebody from the Brewers.
He's going to go with William Contreras.
You know what? Actually, that might be a good pick. Yeah, nope. I'm going. He's over 11 against Kyle Gibson. I'm going to go Nolan Arenado.
He's due.
It's the due factor. We're going to go. Give me Nolan.
Marsh.
I hate to do this, but
he's gonna go a Brewer.
I have to. I gotta go.
That's just what he does.
You don't have to. There's a bunch of Cardinals.
I'm the guy that's like 4 for 8 against Gibby.
Man, I'm going Mason Adames tonight.
He's 3 for 7.
Willie Adames. All right, Brian, who are you choosing?
I'm gonna go Mason Wynn.
Mason Wynn. All right, so Jamie took Lars Nootbaar. I took Brendan Donovan. CD chose Nolan Arenado. Marsh, the only Brewer to be selected, Willie Adames. And our new contestant, new listener, Brian, who chose Mason Wynn. Brian, good luck to you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Thanks, buddy. So if Mason Wynn gets a hit tonight, we'll be calling back Brian on Monday. Time for the biggest question of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, guys, this just came out not too long ago. This one's from Jeff Jones. Dylan Carlson has been taking swings, including some in the cage, off BP tosses, gone through defensive work, including throwing, feeling some pain on the follow-through of his right-handed swing, but throwing has gone better than expected. No timetable, but progress. What is so funny?
Sometimes I forget these things are on. Yeah, but Anthony said something funny.
He is hilarious. Oh.
Anyways,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, it's
I haven't asked it yet.
Oh, okay.
Hall of Fame or not, Carlson?
Not yet.
Cold dead hands.
It's coming. You just wait and see.
Where does he fit in with this roster? And honestly, does this team need Dylan Carlson and what he provided late in spring?
Yes.
And can he get back to that?
I think I think when he's back on the roster, if Victor Scott is still struggling at the plate, you probably send him down. And you give Dylan Carlson, he was slated to be your starting opening day center fielder before he ran into a brick wall in Jordan Walker in right center. So I think he becomes your center fielder, and I think he gets that opportunity unless I don't know how many days away we are. I don't know how many weeks away we are from him returning. If Victor Scott figures some things out by that point at the plate, then he will be what Anthony said in your fourth outfielder. If not, he will be your starting center fielder.
Yeah, the Cardinals
broke that down perfectly.
The Cardinals need Dylan Carlson to come back and provide, if nothing else, competition in the outfield. Like they need Dylan Carlson to come back and push Victor Scott down to Memphis. It's what from an organizational standpoint, Carey, that's what you need. You need your young veterans to push the young talent down, which means they're doing the job.
I don't even think he has to perform well, though. I mean, when he comes back, if Victor Scott isn't performing well, I think he's sent down regardless. So
I'm looking at it.
Trust that Dylan Carlson is going to provide what Victor Scott has been lacking.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree. I'm just saying something. I guess I'm wording it different. Let let me separate from Victor Scott and Dylan Carlson. Let's just say the outfield.
Yes.
What you want is Dylan Carlson to come back and start taking reps from other players to where you're, okay, Dylan Carlson's our best option. Walker, you're out for a game. Victor Scott, you're out for a game. Newt, you're out because Dylan Carlson is, he's taking the ball and run with it here. Yeah. That's what you need if you're the Cardinals. Yeah. You need your young stud that you at one point said, cold dead hands to get him away from me. You need him to become a version of what you thought he would be.
Mo needs him to become a version.
A what?
A version.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
That makes more sense.
I was like, it might be too late.
That makes, yeah.
Like for him to become that.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
You never know. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't there.
No, you weren't. Fade or follow?
Not this time.
Bet the board. 3 stars of the day. And your criticisms and compliments all next on 101 ESPN.
Oh, baby, that play-in tournament is still going on, and I cannot get enough. Carey, I'm so happy you brought my attention to the play-in games, and I'm also real happy that the play-in games are available on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. So it only seems right that since I'm so excited, that FanDuel's offering new customers a way that they can earn $150.
Yeah, Jamie, just place any $5 bet and you'll get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. You can bet on the three-pointers made in a game, over, under, point totals for a game, first basket score, and so much more. The 8th seed is on the line for the Heat and the Bulls and the Kings and the Pelicans. It's going to be great fun, Anthony.
You got to jump on the Kings, right? Because they beat your Warriors?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just a fan. This game, this playoff run, I'm just watching. Whoever wins, wins. Good for those guys.
That's fun.
But the Pelicans, Zion is out. And
is he? Again?
Jimmy Butler. He's out.
All right, just go to FanDuel.com/fast. Again, FanDuel.com/fast to get started with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older in present Illinois. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We were just talking earlier today about how much fun we had at the Missouri Athletic Club earlier this week when we went to broadcast live for the College Basketball Writers Association Awards. So many great people there. And the Missouri Athletic Club, they do such a tremendous job of hosting events. And you could tell that the people that work there are passionate about what they do, and they want to make sure that, you know, if somebody like a legend like Roy Williams is coming into town, that he too experiences what St. Louis and what the Missouri Athletic Club is all about. When it comes to, you know, the daily, you know, routine that I have, going down to the West Clubhouse is always fun. A lot of times I'll get my workout in and I'll do some prep work there. If any family events going on, Missouri Athletic Club is a great spot for that as well, especially around the holidays. It's my MAC, the Missouri Athletic Club.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We are off early today. We'll have the NBA play-in games for you right here on 101 ESPN as the Heat take on the Bulls. Starting at 5:30, the pregame will be. And the Pelicans will take on the Kings following that. Tip-off should be around 8:30. Also tonight, Cardinals take on the Brewers. Kyle Gibson on the mound going up against Freddie Peralta. First pitch is at 7:15. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Fade or Follow, Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, and your criticisms and compliments all coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
No fade, no fade. Money, 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 money.
All right, we're off a little earlier tonight. We got Heat Bulls pregame at 5:30. The NBA tip-in or tip-off or play-in or get your tip in while you're watching basketball.
That version is definitely better.
Like tip-off.
I said it right.
I believe you did.
They're playing in. They got the tip-off.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we heard you. Don't get mad at us.
You're fine, buddy. Get through. We got one more segment. You'll be fine.
We got Chase. We got Chase on the line. We took the Battlehawks last week for Chase, and Chase goes cacaw, and then cacaw was law. They covered easily. What's up, Chase?
What's up, Anthony? You got to be careful. You're going to be canceled here soon.
Hey, listen, Chase, we have said way worse than what I just said, okay? So far, the powers that be.
I hear it every day.
Yeah, you get it. You listen to us. I mean, Jamie.
I got one question for you, Anthony.
What's up, man?
Are you as mad as I am that Ivan Herrera is not in the lineup tonight?
Yes.
Thank you, Chase. Yes. Although last week when I complained, they won that game. So maybe
go with what works.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
You know what? Why have one of your best hitters in the lineup, right?
Exactly.
And Ollie we trust, right?
Yeah, that's true. There you go.
Oh, boy. I might get canceled for that one.
No, you're good.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's a fast lane.
Right. Yeah, another show. A more honorable show might be in trouble. All right. So, Chase, we are going to go with the Battlehawks again. I mean, why not? Why not bring it back? So they got the Memphis Showboats. Now they're laying 7 this time around, so we're gonna have to get over that number. But we got Cacaw again tomorrow afternoon as they take on the Showboats at the Battle Dome -7. Would you like to fade us or follow us?
I really like to buy a half a point at 6.5, but I'm going to go ahead and.
I like Chase.
We can do that.
I like Chase a lot, man.
Last week's winnings to buy a half a point?
Yeah, I mean, high-end bourbon, maybe?
The only thing we can do for you is if it pushes, you just come back next week.
You know what? I'm gonna ride it again. Let's go ahead and follow the fast lane.
Nice. Woo. Excellent. Chase, man, we love having you on. So next week, hopefully you're back here in the same spot.
Absolutely. I have one more thing to say. Hey, Jamie, I'll give Jordan some love for you.
Jordan?
Cairo?
Michael Jordan?
Michael Jordan?
Bennington?
Which Jordan?
You got a daughter, right? That's dating a Jordan?
I do. All right. Are you Jordan's friend?
My brother's best friends with Jordan, but I'll go ahead and if you ever messes with your daughter, I'll go ahead and beat him around for you.
No. One, I really appreciate that. 2, I could probably handle it.
3, do you want to fade me or follow me?
No, I like where your head's at right now. But Jordan is a hell of a kid, man.
You guys have a great weekend.
He's awesome. He's a good dude. Take care, brother.
Nice work, Chase.
Talk to you next Friday.
You got it, buddy. See you, bud.
A guy offering to. I mean, we can't have that on there. Like, I'll call him back and tell him, yeah, the deal's on.
Sure.
Can't have that public.
Yeah, no.
Poor Jordan. By the way, it's Jordan's birthday here. think it's tomorrow night. So happy birthday to Jordan.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't born in March,
Nah.
so it's...
No, I mean, we'll forgive him.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a kid. Great man.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. All right, boys, we got Bet the Board. Carey somehow with a miracle win.
That's unbelievable.
Did they not play the third period
It was
of
5-1.
that Edmonton-Colorado game? Because it was 4-0 within the first 10 minutes of that game, I think.
I looked up, it was 5-1. I said, it's not going to happen. We're not getting under 6.5.
So
There's going to be
it.
another score.
They called it after
they
the
played
second
the entire
period?
third period. Nobody scored.
Wow.
And I got the dub.
What do we got for standings?
So I am in first. Anthony, you're in second. CD is in third, and Jamie is in fourth.
All right, Marsh, go ahead.
I'm going to go. I'm looking at a game tomorrow, the Hurricanes and the Islanders. I'm going to take the Hurricanes -1.5.
All right. I'm going to go with the over in tonight's Diamondbacks-Giants game. It's 7.5. Montgomery looked like crapola in his rehab start or his last minor league start.
Who did
and
you
Blake
say? What did you
Snell
say you were taking?
The over in the Diamondbacks-Giants game, 7.5. Both pitchers.
I know. Go ahead. I wasn't listening.
Both pitchers look like crap. Go ahead.
No, you're good. That was a great pick, Anthony.
Thank you. CD first. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
After his miracle last night.
I was going to go Heat, but I'm not. I'm going to stay away from that game. Give me the New York Yankees, -136 versus the Tampa Bay Rays at home.
They're -174.
I have 136. Where are we?
Carey is on FanDuel.
I'm on
America's
FanDuel.
#1 sportsbook.
What, tomorrow?
Is that for Saturday?
I need to put my glasses on.
It might
boy.
be. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that's for Saturday.
That's
Don't
for
worry about it.
You can have them
Saturday.
tomorrow.
I'll take them for Saturday.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
They are
So
180
tomorrow.
for tonight.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
For Saturday.
About to say, Carey, what
It's just,
are we doing?
Scroll too far. Sorry.
That's all right.
He was on FanDuel. Tells us you got
Yeah.
America's
No, I
#1
get it, I get
sportsbook.
Yeah, exactly.
Just looking at a matchup of Clark Schmidt versus Tyler Alexander. I didn't think it was that close. Go ahead.
I'm back into the prop bets, Anthony, because the NHL and whatnot. I'm not ready to bet on playoff games yet.
NBA.
So, no. God, no. MLB. O'Neal Cruz. What?
Go ahead.
1.5
Nice.
total bases.
I like it.
Take the over.
I like it a lot.
What the hell's your problem?
I'll tell you after the show. First of all, I have many, but I'll tell you after the show.
It's something.
Marsh,
That's terrible.
go ahead.
I hate when I miss it.
All right, our 3 stars of the day. Our third star goes to Touch of Gray.
Touch
of Gray.
That's a personal favorite for several reasons.
Yeah, you might like this one too. Our second star of the day goes to the Jack Adams Award voters.
Yeah. Those guys and gals.
Whatever those guys and gals are.
Yeah.
Special
Group.
effort.
And the first star of the day goes to the Immaculate Lineup game.
Yes. We got it right today.
We did it. Absolutely. All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening all week. We'll be back on Monday. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.